Irish, what's happening? Hey everybody, you remember this place? We are going into the public cab meeting, the Commander Advisory Board meeting.
You want to just give them a heads up if it starts buffering to let you know so you can switch it?
Yeah. Irish, is it, what do you think? Is it buffering? So let me know as we get in here. Keeping this line in line. So we're good right now. Okay, good. So, hey, for those of you that remember District 3, this is home to the dirty white boy ONEILL, Sergeant ONEILL. Last time I was in this building, I was arrested. All those cases have since been dismissed. Or I was found not guilty. So we'll see what's going to happen tonight. We're going into this meeting. It could be the world's most boring stream, but it makes sense to record it because we can.
Or it could be the most entertaining one too. I mean, ONEILL is going to be here. You can't put anything past him, right?
You never know what's going to happen. So in we go. Nope.
Oh, okay.
It is 9/11. I'm going to be hanging out here in the back. Set up right here.
Yeah, right there. Next to
Yeah.
these guys.
Over there.
So I didn't bring the tripod that I don't have to really worry about. It's actually in the truck. I could just grab it. I don't think anyone's gonna like bump into it or anything. Do you?
We should be good back here. Do we have an extra for this?
Yeah. Can I put it in there for you?
Yeah. Let's.
And then you can you can set it down. You can talk to your chat and stuff like that. And you can
Yeah.
talk to them while you sit. So the camera is. That's the camera. Oh shit. Okay. So it's gonna be on this side then. I'm just gonna unplug this. Okay. And you can just
Yeah.
you want to sit down? I can put it like this for now, so that way you can just chop it up with them or something. Do you want to go to the bathroom or do you?
Yeah, I will here eventually.
I'm gonna go first then. If you're
All right, go ahead. Yeah. Hey everybody, what's happening? DR Broden, what's going on? Keeper, welcome. Thanks for being in here. Yeah, so this is the first cab meeting that I have been to in quite a while. So we're going to hear what's going on in District 3. I don't see any super dirty cops, so that's good. Big Len, what's happening? We're doing good. I thought it'd be a good idea if Denver Metro Audits was here with me tonight. It turns out that even though they changed the policy and they were told to take down their no recording signs, they decided to leave them up here. And I guess Denver Metro Audits got Sergeant ONEILL on camera taking down the sign this past week. So that's interesting. Got some park rangers here. We're supposed to be getting some kind of briefing on the automobile task force. So that's all right. Not there.
He's the one that I talked to on the phone. But that was Bell's the commander.
Yeah, but it was the previous commander we talked to, who's now the chief of investigations.
What was his name?
Rick Kyle.
Rick Kyle. And that's Rick Bell?
That's
not Rick.
What's his name? I think his first name is Steve. I think. I don't know.
Something Bell, though. He's the commander.
Yeah. And that's his lieutenant. That follows him everywhere.
I saw there was another older lady here, too. I think she was at the address, or the Denver address.
Mayor's address.
Hi.
Hi, Commander Bell.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Doing well.
Good.
How you been?
I've been okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Is there anything you need?
Yeah, I need you to go to mediation with me.
I don't think that's a good idea
Why?
because that would set up precedent. We can talk later about it.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to you about that because Ron Thomas set that precedent,
Yeah.
and he attended one.
Yeah, but I'm not complaining on that.
Doesn't matter, either was he. I want an answer as to why you can't go. Is that your own personal?
It's not why I can't go. It's why I won't go. My officers are there to mediate with you.
I'm not going to go to mediation if you're not there.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Don't patronize me like
I'm
that.
not.
Yes, you are. Yeah. See? Ready. Alrighty. So I got a complaint in on 2 officers here in District 3. And I agreed to go to mediation. Once you go to mediation, it absolves them from any disciplinary action. And I think it's prudent that the commander be in mediation because Ron Thomas set the precedent and decided to show up to a mediation with 2 of my homeless folks that we did 2-3 years ago. And he doesn't want to go to mediation, then we're not going to mediation. And then you can write me a letter, Denver, and tell me that take on arrestees into cul-de-sacs to hide from me is standard procedure. So yeah, that's how that's going to go. Idiot.
You know, he came over here and he like shook your hand like he was trying to be cool, but I didn't hear anything about, hey, sorry that we arrested you last time you were here and locked you in a cage and stuff like that. Yeah, I turned it off.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. We'll see.
Is that the lady that was at the speech?
Yeah, Irish, right? I don't. That's this blonde.
Oh, this lady right here, blonde. That way.
Oh yeah. 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 I don't know exactly who she is.
I wonder if she's like a lieutenant or what.
I don't know.
She doesn't look like.
She don't have any stripes.
If I had to, rely on a police officer to come help me or something,
Yeah,
I
she
wouldn't want
wouldn't
her
be
to.
So that's Commander Bell there. So what are we doing at the PD? We're gonna just hang out here for this hour-long meeting. It's called the Commander Advisory Board meeting. The last time I tried to attend this, ONEILL arrested me for a bogus warrant that he wrote for me, and then he held my phone as evidence and tried to drum up another case on me. So all three of those cases are done and over with. Went to trial on one of them, found not guilty. The other one got dismissed, and the other one never got created with my cell phone that he took. So yeah, that's why we're here at DPD District 3. And I'm sure they'll, be a bitch and gripe about all the homeless and about the safe outdoor space. We'll see. There's supposed to be a presentation. Yeah, I knew she would be. Amy. It's an actual meeting, DJ. It's supposed to start at 7. What's happening?
Yeah, you got your coffee.
It's a full house. Yes, many.
Oh, nice. Cameras.
Lots of cameras.
If we're here, there's cameras. If we're here, there's cameras. Yeah, but we got looks
I
like
came for the show.
Yeah, I hope there's a sweet dreams.
Because it's a 9/11. What's going on?
They're supposed to be doing an hour presentation on the automobile task force. The automobile task force, somebody from State Patrol. So yeah, I don't know, but I gotta go use the restroom. So you want to put this back up?
Where's O'Neill?
I don't see him, but Bell
So
came
when I
on.
went into headquarters a couple weeks ago to have that for that complaint.
So it should be starting like any minute now. It's already 6 o'clock right now. Yeah, I am. You can sue them for that kind of stuff. But I mean, sometimes you can't though. Like, if you can't even sue them for the incident, then you can't sue for that. But I mean, you can always add that stuff in there. Oh, thanks, I am. Yeah, Bay Area's a good dude. He's a personal friend of mine. I mean, I've never met him, but I call him my friend because we talk and stuff. But we're supposed to be meeting up. Irish Rover, thanks, man. If you're referring to me getting that case dismissed, thank you. I guess I'll just give myself a shameless plug in here, but I have just dropped a video where I got arrested with a flashlight with direct D. Got charges dismissed on that one, all of them. So I just dropped a video today. You should check it out. It's all body cams and stuff. Bruce Williams is in it. He called me a dumb mother effer, like when I was in the holding cell. He forgot about the security camera footage that I got. calling me a dumb mother effer and telling me to shut the F up and stuff while I'm locked in the cell. And then when he came to transport me to the county jail, he knew his body cam was on, so he's all, hey, are these too tight? Oh, hey, man, how's your shoulder feeling? I know you got a bad shoulder. Trying to be all nice, but he's such a manipulator. So yeah, I didn't see ONEILL here, so I'll let you guys know a little sneak peek of what happened. I came over here without Regan, and the sign was still up that says no recording, even though Ron Thomas, the chief of police, changed that policy in February. Sign's still up saying you can't record. I was talking to the rookies up here, and they're kind of trying to give me the roundabout, you know, it's up here for this, that, and the other reason. And I was like, well, you know, I literally just saw Chief Ron Thomas up on the stand 2 weeks ago with my friend. She got found not guilty, and he said they changed this policy in February. And, you know, when you clarify that you know what you're talking about, they kind of don't really know what to do. So I asked for get a sergeant to come out here and talk about this sign, why it's still up, and ONEILL came out. And I was like, hey man, you salty about Regan getting or found not guilty? And I was like, hey man, we get this sign taken down. And ONEILL took the sign down, dude. I got it on camera. ONEILL ripping that sign down that he arrested Regan for, dude. And it's gonna be a good video. I don't know when it'll be up. It's going to be by a few weeks, but I got a lot of other stuff to do. So yeah, you guys are probably the first ones to know about that, except for Regan. So we got that taken down. We really should go visit all of the police stations and make sure those signs are taken down, because I don't know why ONEILL didn't just take it down to begin with, why they would leave it up, because they're trying to just, you know, make people think they have to leave them up, but he left it up, and then he got embarrassed by having to take it down right in front of me on camera. You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, your fearless leader's back.
All right, we're back. Are they gonna start this bad boy or what? This is a Pat Times.
Hey, welcome. Very packed house. I appreciate everybody coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we start, though, I would like to just take a few moments and have a moment of silence, remembering 23 years ago.
I'm going to turn my phone off. Oh, you're good.
Thank you. Welcome. Kind of packed house here, so. I know a lot of my community members and my partners from Bible Park are here to talk about the issues that are going in and around Bible Park. After we do our normal meeting, I would like to do a breakout session with all of you. I want to hear what you're seeing, what you're feeling, and share some of the stuff we're doing and what we're going to continue to do and other innovations. We brought our partners from the Ranger's office here too to explain some of the stuff that we've been doing and they can do. Our guest speaker is Kel Gould, right? Kel is a public outreach coordinator for the Colorado Auto Theft Prevention Authority, CATPA. Is that what you really call it, CATPA? All right, I'll go with it then. Which funds DPD's Denver Track program and the Club Giveaway program for vehicles, along with numerous other auto theft prevention efforts, and has also funded DAT and CNAT, Denver Auto Theft Task Force, and Colorado Motor Vehicle Auto Theft Task Force, something like that. So, for over 10 years. So, I'll turn it over to you first.
Welcome, everybody. I really appreciate the turnout for this. As you said, my name is Kel. I am the public outreach coordinator for the Colorado Auto Theft Prevention Authority, a part of the Colorado State Patrol. We're a little tiny business unit of the Colorado State Patrol. I'm kind of talking about what we do to fight auto theft in Colorado, what auto theft looks like in Colorado now, previously, where we're going, and then, of course, the most important part, how to keep your car safe. So first off, what is the Colorado Auto Theft Prevention Authority, CAPA? Colorado Auto Theft Prevention Authority is a statutory group that was founded and assigned to the Colorado Department of Public Safety and Colorado State Patrol in 2003. We're a grants office. That's our biggest role, is we're a grants office, and we assist with policy through our Department of Public Safety as it relates to auto theft across the state. In 2003, we were founded as a grants office, and we were unfunded. We were unfunded, and we're only able to create grants through voluntary donations, primarily through your insurance agencies. All the big insurance industries would donate money that would become reappropriated into grants. In 2009, that changed, where there was demonstrated effectivity of our program and similar programs across the U.S. that convinced the legislature to then create a mandatory $1 per auto insurance policy fee that is assessed to the insurance industry that then comes back to us that we use for our grants now. That comes out to right about $6.5 million every year. CAPA takes a statutory 8% for operating costs, and everything else goes out in grants. So how those grants go out is really important because it's done by our board of directors. There's 11 folks on that board of directors. There's members of the insurance industry who have a vested interest of where that money goes, being that it originates within the insurance industry. There's members of the Department of Revenue, the Department of Public Safety, occupied by one of the lieutenant colonels of Colorado State Patrol. There's a consumer representative who looks for consumer interests, that is currently the CEO of the Independent Automotive Dealers Association. And then we also have a representative of the District Attorney's Council who sits on this board. These are the people who review grant applications, fund grant applications, and set policy for how we look to reduce auto theft through our programming. I'll talk to you a little bit about what I do. I do this. This is a staple of what I do, meetings like this, community meetings all across the state. This is a huge opportunity for me to create interest in education and help make change. I really appreciate all of your attendance this afternoon. This is so great to see so many people here, being that you're interested community members. That's one of the major ways I get to share my message to you, and I know because of your interest in your community, you share it throughout your community. My program does everything for auto theft prevention, education, and awareness. That's my big thing. So I do events like these, I do other speaking engagements, sponsorships, advertising. I do gas station advertising, like you can see that ice box or that gas pump handle. Has anybody ever seen one of those? That's perfect, because I only put them in areas that have really high auto theft. So if you've never seen one, that's great. And if you do, now you know why. But I do that. I do everything from radio advertising to geometric tracking. So things like the ads you see on your phones, you might see one, again, if you enter a high auto theft area, things like that. That's my whole role here at the Department of Public Safety's Auto Theft Prevention Authority. I do this, I do media coordination, I do public affairs. So now this is kind of the part of my presentation that gets super data heavy. I want to explain to you why I throw so much data in this, so that you understand why I'm telling you the things I'm telling you. It's not because I am looking at this data and, hey, this is why you should do this. I want you to understand the rise of auto theft in Colorado, the causes, and then of course, what you can do about it. I think the best way to do that is through our data. We have fantastic data in Colorado. So the things we do really well here, that's what makes us very agile in the fight against auto theft. You can see in this graph here, this is auto theft in Colorado over the last 5 years. 2019 all the way to 2023. You can see auto theft climbing, reaching a high point in 2022. If you could go back another 10 years in this graph, you'd see auto theft continuing to climb little bit by little bit by little bit until that huge crescendo right there in 21, 22, where we saw massive increases. I'll explain that a little bit. There's a lot of things that played into those large increases we saw in those years. A lot of things. Notably, one of the things we look at is the pandemic. During the pandemic, we saw very large changes across the western half and much of the United States as far as auto theft is concerned. Why? There's a lot of things that come into that. A lot of factors. We look at everything from correctional facilities releasing low-risk offenders like property crime, auto theft, as well as no longer intaking new inmates due to pandemic concerns. Critical levels of law enforcement staffing across the U.S. and of course here in Colorado, where you see agencies had to prioritize the most urgent of calls and not do proactive work or intensive investigation for things like auto theft. Things like specialty units being disbanded to try and meet these most urgent needs. And part of that as well is change in legislation. Colorado's auto theft statutes were rearranged during that 2019 session with many other criminal justice reforms at the same time that changed how auto theft was looked at in Colorado criminally. That changed again in 2023. That is one of the reasons you see that decrease in 2023. In 2022, Colorado was the #1 per capita state for auto theft, a horrible title we own. In 23, we owned it again, even though we decreased auto theft by 20%. In 2024, we are on track currently to decrease auto theft a further 30%. So things are trending in the right way, but we still remain high by volume and high per capita. Some of the good things I'd love to point out here, while we see auto theft go up, at the same time, we see attempted motor vehicle thefts also go up. So that trend follows. You'll see completed thefts, total thefts, as well as, car break-ins. These all share very similar trends. What that broke out to is 1 out of every 69 households experienced motor vehicle theft. 3.7 vehicles were stolen every hour. 3.2 vehicles were recovered every hour. This is a great figure, something I would really like to stress and share when I talk to people. Yes, while Colorado experienced high rates and high volume of auto theft, we recovered nearly 90% of all stolen vehicles in 2023. That's excellent, well above what we see in other states, which are anywhere from 50 to 70% recovery rates. And we do that through our investments, everything from technology investments to some of these excellent programs we fund that help encourage these recovery rates. Recovery rates are huge for us. Recovering motor vehicles returns investment to Colorado, whether that's to the insurer or to the owner. Getting that vehicle back is some kind of return of investment versus never seeing that vehicle again. Regardless of condition, there is some return of investment. Now we're going to talk about what those stolen cars do, where they go. So when a car is stolen, we see an increasing pattern. Please, sir, you have a question?
I have a question on the previous slide. Real quick.
Please, sir.
76% of vehicle theft charges include secondary crime. Is that like computers, things
Very
where you
good
guys
question.
are?
That's exactly where I was headed now. You're reading my mind.
Oh, okay.
So what you see here about what other stolen cars do, cars we find overwhelmingly, both through our data as well as through, we hear from community members and law enforcement entities, stolen cars don't stay in one place and only commit a crime. Stolen cars are by nature very mobile, and they're stolen for a variety of reasons, but overwhelmingly we see stolen cars committing other crimes. I always love to leave with this analogy because it makes it really clear. Would you take your own car to rob a bank? No. You'd start with a stolen car, and that's how a lot of crimes start. Whether we're talking about retail theft, narcotics, arms, assault, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Stolen cars drive other crimes. And while auto theft went up in Colorado, so did many other crime types. Property crimes largely, but all crime types increased. Auto theft is a driver of other crimes. Where those stolen cars go? Everywhere. Stolen cars create problems not only where they're stolen, but where they go. This map is a map of cars that were recovered that were stolen in Colorado. And you can see they are spread across the whole United States. Some in Mexico, and then some of the stolen cars we know we don't recover where we lose them, internationally or stripped for parts. Things like that. So now we're going to talk about Colorado has high auto theft rates. What type of cars are stolen? You'll see here, this is the top 10 most stolen list of cars in Colorado by make model. You'll see years here. Is there anything standing out to anybody about that list? Yep, big time. There are huge drivers. 6 of the top 10 most stolen vehicles. Another really important thing about that, those are all newer vehicles within the last 5 years. There's a large changing trend over the last few years. The last 5 years, you saw this list had older Hondas, you saw older other GMCs, Fords, older vehicles. Hyundais and Kias are largely newer. For those who follow the news closely, you've seen where those vehicles have had high theft rates nationwide. This is a great thing where if you see your vehicle on this list, it's a big clue to you should do more, learn more, how to protect your vehicle. So we will hop on to where these cars are stolen. Please, sir.
Going back, do you know what the legislative change was in 2023 that made the change in the?
Senate Bill 23097, look it up, you can see the full changes. The big thing in that one was it removes a somewhat antiquated part of our law where Colorado tied the estimated cost of the motor vehicle to the type, to the level of misdemeanor felony. That was entirely removed, and it did some other very excellent things in 2023 where it created aggravators for things like eluding law enforcement, using the vehicle for the commission of other crimes, disguising the vehicle, trying to make it not appear as it is, removing VIN tags. If the vehicle has damages, it increases aggregates, things like that that really give teeth to being able to do positive law enforcement work. It was a great change. We really applaud all our partners in that, and we're seeing the effects of it. We're seeing the effects of it with the decrease in 23 and the continued decreases this year. Thank you, sir. Great question. Where cars are stolen. I don't think it comes as a shocker to anybody here. Most vehicles stolen in Colorado are stolen in and around the Denver metro area. Right about three-quarters of those vehicles are stolen in the Denver metro area. Changes we've seen in the last few years, northern Colorado and southern Colorado have increased their portions, but largely you can see the risk to motor vehicle theft is greatest here in Denver metro. Who commits these crimes? This is a big one. We love to tell you what we know by our data, share facts, and dispel rumors. A lot of times you'll hear stolen cars are associated with juveniles, joyrides. Joyrides are not auto theft. They're not auto theft where somebody takes a car, drives around, it's fine, the car's largely undamaged, there's not usually other crime. And as you can see by our data here, largely who commits these crimes is adults, not juveniles. And what is, again, those cars being used for? They're not being driven for fun or enjoyment, they're being used in the commission of other crimes. This is where these slides get difficult for a lot of people to look at. Top line, incidents of motor vehicle theft in Colorado. Bottom line, total arrests. You can see that gap larger and larger and larger. Our data here is a little delayed. We have to wait significantly for our partners and partners investigations to get us the following year. But I can tell you, while we decreased the motor vehicle rates substantially in 23, arrests went up substantially as well. So that's getting closer. And that's something I like to point out, that what you see as far as volume versus action against it is getting closer to where it needs to be, should be, to help make Colorado a safer state. And let's talk about why those numbers got so low. Challenges. Motor vehicle theft is a very difficult crime to interdict because it relies on an initial report for the motor vehicle to be reported as stolen. And depending on where that vehicle is stolen from, miscellaneous circumstances, if it's stolen overnight, it might not be noticed for 4 hours. If it's stolen, say, at DIA, and you're on a week-long vacation, that vehicle is not going to be reported for 5-6 days. So that's a challenge, as well as motor vehicle theft and who steals these cars has changed as well. We've seen increasing trends of violence linked to motor vehicle theft, eluding law enforcement, engaging in high-risk behavior, reckless driving at the very least. You could imagine some of the horrors trying to elude law enforcement, the danger that puts the public in, and increases in motor vehicle theft offenders being armed, dangerous, willing to engage the public and law enforcement to stay with that stolen car and stay out of law enforcement's hands. That's some of the things that have made it difficult to work against auto theft, as well as we're talking about a moving target. Auto theft changes all the time. We talk about those top 10 stolen cars, how Hyundai and Kia the past few years became all the way at the top. We didn't see that until it happened overnight, and all of the U.S. happened. So it's kind of trying to hit a moving target. It's a cat and mouse game. And then we talk about older vehicles. Older vehicles don't have some of the modern securities, and without updating or enhancing those security systems, using other devices to help prevent theft of those vehicles become increasingly susceptible to theft. There's a lot more older vehicles out there than there are brand new ones. And we'll kind of wrap this up nicely. All of this I've told you about motor vehicle theft in Colorado. What does it mean and how can you keep your car safe? Number one, lock your car and take the keys. Our friends at General Motors and the National Insurance Crime Bureau estimate anywhere from 30 to 50% of vehicles are stolen because some level of doors are unlocked, keys were left in the vehicle, spare keys were left in the vehicle, things like that that make the vehicle highly more susceptible to theft. So if we could start cutting things like that down, it's a great place to start. But one of the things I always like to stress is when you do those things, you are a active owner of your car, active security measures to help protect your car. That might not always be enough. In Colorado, as we saw that this is a high risk, high volume auto theft state, your vehicle is at a greater risk just by being in the state. What you drive, those top 10 most stolen vehicles, even greater risk. So we like to try and provide additional tools to help you personally assess how to protect your car. And one of the best things we do is our website, lockdownyourcar.org. You can see this heat map on this slide. This heat map is a live heat map on our website. It's a Google map with heat overlay of auto theft incidents in the state. And you can zoom anywhere in the state you like. You can look straight to your neighborhood. How many auto theft incidences year to date are in your neighborhood? Where you work, where you take your kids to school, everywhere. You can look at how prevalent around you it is. And that helps you make choices about how to protect your car. If your car is on that top 10 most stolen list. If you live in a high auto theft area as determined by that map, those are great clues to do more. What can you do? We love things like the club, the steering wheel lock, great product. Visual deterrent, there's so many other things, basic things. If you have a garage and you don't put your car in, clean it out. That's a huge deterrent. We've seen 80 to 90% reduction in vehicle incidents when they're in garages. You don't see thefts when they're in garages. That's a huge, and that's not an option. We recognize that, but if that is a review, take that option. Put your car in garage, put it in a safe parking lot. Do more, change things. One of the things I always like to tell people, if you take great security steps to help protect your car, you lock your car, you always know where your keys are. Who else drives your car? Do you let your kids use your car? Do you think they take the same security steps that you do? You want to make sure that it's a holistic plan. Small things like that are great. Proximity keys for everybody who has touch start, one button push start cars. Great products that help keep cars very safe as long as you know where that key is. Keeping that key with you away from the vehicle when you're not using it is crucial. You'll see people who hang the keys up right inside the door and they're 15 feet from their car. That is not a safe place. Keeping those keys far away from the vehicle is great. And car manufacturers, as they change their keys, they need a much closer proximity. You'll see some of those older proximity keys have longer distances. Things to think about to further keep the car safe. Talk about that guy. And what else? I love doing this. I love talking to people about how to keep their cars safe, and I take it very personally. It changed based on where you live, what you drive, where you work, how you keep your car safe. That's my information. That's my phone number, our email address. Give me a call, and I would love to walk through the basic things that I look at for auto theft prevention. Sure.
Please repeat the domain name.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's lockdownyourcar.org. I have handouts. It's that QR code there. I thought I had it there, but yeah. I'm happy to share that with anybody. And any other questions for me? Yeah, just got handouts in the back there for anybody with the website. It's a great tool. Yes, ma'am?
What do you call the thing you put on your steering
Yeah.
wheel?
Yeah, the steering wheel.
Is that?
Great product. We love it. It's not like entirely foolproof, but when we're talking about 30 to 50% of cars are stolen because they're unlocked, have keys in them, a thief's not going to bother to break into your car to defeat the steering wheel lock when next door there's an unlocked car.
As a second
Please.
question, Apple Pay.
Yep, lovely.
I have one in my car.
Lovely.
So let's say my car is stolen, I reported my luck, and I see my car, according to the Apple Pay, is a certain place. Would I call the police and say, I know my car is there? So would that be a 9/11, or would that be a
Situational. 911, of course, stolen for emergencies. But when you reported your car stolen, you'll have somebody come out, take a report, make contact. Then you're like, hey, I have an airtag. A lot of times they'll give you a follow-up, whether it's that, it depends where, which department. I can't say generally for everybody. You'll have to contact, you're like, hey, my car's against, or I see my car stopped, this is where it is. They'll be able to work with you there. I'm gonna follow up on your AirTag question, because it's a great one. If you have an AirTag in your car, we love it. We love recovering those vehicles. Denver Track is another great way to get involved to help protect your car. Denver Track does something that's crucial. They have stickers that you put on the window that says this vehicle's tracked. If you have an air tag in your car, but you don't have GPS tracking stickers, you buy them on Amazon for $2, great product. That way thieves see, they know that vehicle's tracked, they don't have to find out, and you don't have to find out when your car's stolen. Give the preemptive warning that that car is GPS tracked to prevent the theft. Preventing theft is always cheaper than recovery. We love to recover vehicles, but it'd be better if we stopped them from being stolen first. Ma'am?
Are there statistics that say how many of these cars are stolen by immigrants that are in the United States?
Dear God.
That would require us to look at those, those arrests, and Colorado does not track that information, either local law enforcement level or a statewide level. So God, I can't tell you conclusively, even remotely what that would look like, but thank you. Sir?
I did a lot of running close work with both of them.
Oh, no.
What I'm wondering, on the linear graph, where your logistics and statistics, does density, have any impact, because the way, let's say you got 40,000 stolen, it starts dropping down, and is that in your formula, because I didn't see it there, and I think it needs to be.
Yeah, this is volume, strict volume only.
Right.
Right, when we look at our per capita, we do look at the densities, we look at major areas. We recommend those five, that Denver Metro, Southern Colorado, Northern Colorado, they align with Colorado State Patrol districts. That's how we look at all of them, and density is absolutely something we look at. Yep.
And then, along with this, the guy recognizes the standard has been very active with all of the group here. Ways and means to reduce everything you're talking about, stolen cars. Programs that he does and such, also on the license plate. Other gets in that, he's got a good program where you put on a little wheel on there where you can't take it off. Like you said, you're gonna use it for something else. I think he is very proactive, and I think he needs to get recognition, and our chief. I think they're doing great.
Denver is really turned a huge lead of creating focus on what matters most to its people, and they said on that overwhelmingly that we just use Denver, and I can't applaud this district in Denver about the positive steps they've taken. That's one of the big reasons why you saw auto theft drop down. We program all across the state. We have task forces all across the state. 75% of the thefts happen in the Denver Metro. That's a huge driver. So the biggest agencies in the Denver Metro have to step up, and they have. 100%. Can't see enough about our partners there.
Thank you, but it's definitely the District 3 team, especially our CRO staff. But I do appreciate the kudos. How about we do two?
Cool. I got two more that I'm here all night, folks. We have a call. Sir.
Can you speak to the reduction in auto theft and insurance rates? Does it have any effect on our insurance?
Yes, it does. You may not see that for several years. The insurance companies will make their money back, so it takes about money you off the hook. I guarantee you that. But with that being said, Colorado has a lot of difficult insurance situations aside from auto theft. Auto theft is high. We're a high collision state. Natural disasters also have a huge driving effects on insurance, cars, and homes. They tie together property, natural disasters, and the number one big reason why insurance is so expensive in Colorado, hail. So auto theft hurts our insurance rates, but there's a lot that ties into it as well. But I will tell you, while it's going up, give it a couple of years, maybe we'll catch it. I'll take one more now.
Is DIA and all of their totals all in here as well?
Yep, absolutely. You're looking at statewide numbers. You're not looking at, one of the big things I love to stress too, you're not looking at the number of auto theft incidents. You're looking very literally at stolen vehicles by VIN number. There's gonna be some good news about DIA. You'll see that out in a few weeks, but overwhelmingly since like 6 months ago, maybe longer now, 9 months ago, there was a notable indictment out of the 17th Judicial District of an organized crime ring that was targeting DIA. Since that indictment, DIA numbers have dropped down considerably. And of course, I would encourage everybody, DIA is a very, very great place to travel because it's convenient. They see so many travelers, even during their worst months, we were seeing like 200 or so stolen cars. At DIA, it was just under, but approximately 200 stolen cars per month, whereas they were seeing, 100,000 cars parked there that month. So while the incidents were a fire, we're talking total number, no. Thank you all so much for your time. I will be.
Thank you. Great presentation. Okay, I'm going to jump into our the recognition of our officers of the month. We're going to do June and July. We got a little bit behind. On July 20th, 2024, Officers Smith and Swanson responded to a call over 6700 block of East Archer Drive on a burglary in progress. Upon arrival, they were admitted into the house by the resident, who was also the complainant. She invited them in, offered for them to sit down. One of the officers sat down on the couch, the other one decided to remain standing. And she, for probably mental health reasons, became irrational and agitated spontaneously, and for no reason told the officers to leave. The officers began to leave when she grabbed two large kitchen knives and raised them above her head. Officers immediately gave verbal commands to drop the knives. One drew a service weapon, the other one drew a taser. And she came towards them with those knives, and the officer Smith deployed his taser. That took her to the ground, but she still did not comply with dropping the knife. He had to discharge the taser a second time, as Officer Swanson is covering him with the lethal weapon. They were, after the second tasing, they were able to take the woman into custody, and the officers were able to get her transported to Denver Health Medical Center. Great job by both of you. And I'd like to just illustrate the obvious, the restraint they are. They're heroes. Officer Corporal Padilla, Officer Roach, and Officer O'Connor responded to the location of a family disturbance, domestic violence call. Upon arrival, officers contacted family members of the victim who pointed out the suspect. The suspect looked out the apartment, saw police, and began to walk away from the location. Officers followed the suspect, and as they were following, they observed a bulge on his right side of his hip, causing them to believe that he was armed. Officers gave him commands, and the suspect was finally detained without further incident. During a pat-down search, a Glock 9mm handgun with 10 rounds of magazine in the magazine was located. They conducted a clearance of the suspect and found that the suspect had 2 outstanding warrants in addition to the disturbance and domestic violence. They contacted the victim, who stated that during an argument, the suspect attempted to slap her and slapped the feet of her baby. The suspect shoved the victim to the ground and placed his knee on her back and her from getting up. The suspect also strangled the victim before she bit him to get away. The suspect grabbed the victim's phone, threw it across the room, which prevented the victim from calling 911 to begin with. The suspect was booked in on the warrants in the aggravated assault, criminal mischief, child abuse, and other domestic violence. So another great example of officers using restraint, noticing their environment, and slowing the call down.
Why don't they ever show up all the restrooms?
So I know I've got a lot of new faces here tonight, so we'll just go over this really quick. This is the District 3 map. The District 3 is divided into 2 sectors, Sector 1 and then Sector 2. Sector 1 is led up by Lieutenant David Timmerman. We have our far as our contact numbers, they are there for you to help you navigate some of the issues we have in the district. Sector 2 is led by Lieutenant Julie Winky, and we have technician PJ Chetto, and then CRO at Briggs on the Sector 2. And then the numbers you see is just the precinct numbers of those two sections. So we have 4 precincts. And then also up here in the Hampton area there is Troy Sandoval. He's our lieutenant that does the overnights when all of us are trying to get some sleep, which Troy doesn't allow us to sleep. He always texts us and tells us what's going on. But he runs the district when there's no votes. I'd just like to commend him and for all his help as well. Okay, this is just overview of District 3 and the second lieutenant will be breaking it down into the precincts a little bit closer. But we're still doing well this year. I appreciate that. That's all I do. That's the help you're giving me locking those doors. Our personal crimes is down by 16%. Property crime is down 29%. That's a big number. I like it, but it could be better. And the reason why is at least, and it goes up every month. I watch it every month. At least 40% of our doors are unlocked, our garages are open, our cars are unlocked. So we can just do a little bit better on that. For you that have been to the Joel Bell show before, I always harp on those open doors. Also, for us gun owners, safe storage of guns. I'll keep on harping on that because those are the people that do the shootings. It's very rare that we get a gun that was lethally bought that was used in crime. They're coming from these open doors and unlocked houses, and sometimes it's like a body sign.
Yeah, I don't know if you got the numbers reversed here. The numbers actually show an increase in persons on
The average person.
We put that in there purposely to make sure that everyone was.
Kara, can you make sure he gets the prize?
You got it.
So, good eye, good eye. I don't have an answer for you right now. I could get an answer, whether those are reverse or numbers. Our numbers are actually down. I think those numbers have to be.
And then, Bell, that's just the 3-year average in the West. That's not 2023 versus 2024.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Still year to date. Yeah, it's still year to date. It should be our 3-year average. All right, with that, Drew, or Dave.
Hi, everybody. I think I know most of you. For those that don't know me, I'm David Timmerman. As Commander said, I'm a lieutenant for this whole area, Sector 1 in District 3, which is pretty much everything west of Colorado. It's kind of the river to Colorado, 6th Avenue down to Hamden. I would mention some of the neighborhoods, but there's a whole lot of them, so I won't bother to go through. But it's a pretty large area over there. So it's been a while. It's been, I think, since May since we've done this, and I see it appears to be a lot of new faces. So if I don't do this, we tend to get questions about it. So I'll just kind of explain what each of these kind of represents. Person crimes, that's just what you would think. A person's the victim. Someone was assaulted, someone was robbed, something where a crime was committed to an individual. Property crimes, same thing except for an item. You were burglarized, your car was stolen, your car was broken into, those kind of things. Public is kind of an all-encompassing thing. It's a lot of things where there is no, you don't necessarily need a victim. The cops can charge someone for something that is a crime against the state, kind of crime against society, no individual, urinating in public, having drugs on you, a gun that wasn't used that you're possessing. Those are things that could be considered public work crimes.
I have a question. Sorry.
Where does it come from?
Where does retail crime come into the picture?
That would be property.
Property.
So any kind of like shoplifting stuff, and that's a lot of what we see, especially up here because of Cherry Creek, a lot of shoplifting. That's all done. And then obviously total crime. Looking at the numbers, I know some people don't necessarily agree with the numbers depending on what they are experiencing, but we're doing great over in Sector 1. The only place we're really increased right now is in 312. And I always like to go back a little bit and compare from a couple months ago. Back in May, all of these areas, except for 12, everything has improved. For example, 313, it's now at a 3.7% increase, but back a few months ago, we were at 18% increase. And 14, we're at 2% increase, but we were at 31% increase back in May. So we're trending in the right direction. The only place that's gone up, 12 was about 10%, now we're at 18. I looked into it, we're up 18 crimes. 20 of those crimes in 12 are all simple assault increases over last year. And of those, they're all, almost all of our simple assaults, and a large portion of these are simple assaults in Sector 1. And almost all of them, they're known parties, they're domestic violence, they're friends, they're neighbors. So it's not really a crime against an unknown. I always like to also mention, before I take any questions, I'll mention just a couple of things I'm seeing over in the sector. One, and it's not just Sector 1, it's Sector 2 as well, is we're seeing a lot of road rage. We've had a big uptick over the summer of road rage. Please don't, if you're a victim of that, if you're seeing people driving aggressively, do not engage. That tends to lead quite often to very violent crimes. A lot of the numbers you're seeing up here in the person crimes are people that are involved in road rage, getting threatened, people pointing guns, sometimes shooting guns. We have had people shot in these road rages, and we've had fatal accidents that resulted from road rage. So please, I know you get caught up in the moment. You know, someone's driving aggressively around you, it frustrates you. If you want to engage in that, please don't. Just pull over, let them go, call us, and hopefully we have someone available that can locate that individual, because it's just not, the punishment wouldn't be worth what could possibly happen to you. So we'll do what we can, but please keep yourself safe. That's more important. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and Commander kind of touched on it, whoever he went. He touched on it, open doors. In 311 especially, in the northern part of the sector, we're seeing a lot of open garages. It's happening all over, but especially up there. Garages being left open and bicycles are being stolen. That's the #1 item that's being taken. Almost every time I'm looking, it's the garage open, it wasn't locked. Either it's an unlocked side door or the garage is just left open. Sometimes it's garage doors openers that are left in vehicles that are parked outside the garage that they're used to open it. And we're getting bikes taken. And I don't recall the numbers, I did have them a few weeks ago, but almost none of them are bikes that we could recover in the future because no one knows their certain numbers. Once a year on Bike to Work Day, we usually do a Bike to Work event down near the Charter Creek Mall where we register bikes on the bike path. And District 3, compared to the rest of the city, we register a ton of bikes. We have a lot of activity with it. We're actually going to be, because of what we're seeing, we're going to be doing another bike registration event. Except this time we're going to be doing it in that neighborhood in the northern part of 311. So I'll put this up here in case anyone wants to see it, because I don't think we have it in the slideshow. On September 16th, which is Monday, between 4 and 6:30, we're going to be out on the Charter Creek Bike Path right at Corona. And we chose that area because there's a lot of people coming in and out of the bike path into the neighborhoods. We're going to be educating people, trying to make them lock their bike and locks their garages. And we're going to try and get as many bikes registered as we can. We contact people all the time that have bikes that we know they can't afford, we know they shouldn't have. And we just can't ever get them back to the individual who they're taken from because we can't prove who they are, do or do not belong to. So then they get to keep the bike and the victim no longer has it. So please, if you're around there, feel free to come by, register your bike. And at any point, you can go to the website, also it's Garage 529, and or you can come by the station as well. We give you a little sticker to put on your bike. And then anyone with the app, if we've had people find bikes that are just abandoned on the sides of roads or in the garages, anyone who has the app can scan that code, and it'll put them in direct contact with the owner. It won't give you their personal information, but you'll be able to contact them and make sure the bike is back with them.
Does Christie sending out a blast pertaining to that? Because then that was covered.
I'm sure she is. If she hasn't already, I'm sure she will be. We just finished getting the flyer, so I'm not sure if it's gone out yet, but yes. Oh, we do have some in the back as well. Christie has it back. So, does anyone have any questions for me? Go ahead, Don.
Will you touch a little bit on 311 and the public crimes?
So as I mentioned, public crime tends to be crimes that there don't necessarily have to be victims for. There are a lot of reasons why those numbers can go up or down. You can rationalize going down is a good thing, you can rationalize going up is a good thing. So I don't really usually focus on that number as a good or bad indicator. However, in 311, which is the Broadway area, it's Baker, it's Spear, it's Cherry Creek, all those areas. Those numbers have gone up a lot simply because of a lot of the work the officers have been doing on Broadway. We've seen an influx of new people down there that we've never seen before. Some problems, some not, but the cops have been out there just making sure they're taking care of this.
Hi, Lieutenant, can you comment a little further on making contact with people that you know can't afford those bikes and what that looks like?
Well, for example, in the past, we've had, and we won't contact them just because they have a bike that looks expensive. There's another reason to contact them. But I have had one case where we contacted someone who had a bike that belongs to a racing group that was about a $60,000 bike. And I will tell you, if I had to get contact with that bike, I'm gonna question that. So we don't just jump to it's stolen, it's not stolen, but if it is, it's, because of the volume of bikes that get taken in the area, we do like to keep that in the back of our minds just in case. We just want to make sure they're returned to the owners. Like I said, we're not going to contact someone just because they have a bike. But if in discussions with them, it seems like it's probably not theirs, because many people are honest about it too. No, this isn't, I found this bike. Is a lot of what we get. So if we found it, we'll check. If it's stolen, we'll take it, give it back to the owner. If it's not, it's yours. Do you mean for the bikes that I'm talking about?
That bolt to keep your legs holding.
Yeah.
We can get with this.
We do them at the station, and sometimes we'll do events out in the community as well. But yeah, you can do it. If you bring your car there, we'll put them on for you. Anyone else have any questions before we move on? All right, we'll give one more.
I've probably been one of those that falls almost dead cases. My car, can't get over a little parts because of their coming into my car and causing me to twice. And these guys, if they get it very crazy, they're not just me, but they're going ahead and driving the little parts where I can't see what they're doing anyway.
And you're talking about the people that are doing the windshield?
Yeah. But the biggest thing this week was, my background is, I did criminal work in town, so I'm watching this stuff escalate on the body language. I know nothing happens, I don't really know who contacts, like when I'm calling, if they ever actually being used, but I don't know if anybody goes with that. This week, when I'm sitting there, the investigator was Monday coming up Colorado, or Alameda, for this week, rather than being a little happy person that's ready to bar and anyone else. I guess I always close my phone or my video or whatever, and then go to my car. This week, touching my car and surrounding, I said, you comfortable. One of the things that when I'm early station, doesn't make me feel comfortable, but they also, I would just be a smile face, a whole lot of,
So I will say, it has been, obviously, it's been an issue, like you said, in both sectors. It's a little bit more of a complicated one because without someone willing to be complainant, any charge we have is very extremely low level, it's just pretty much them standing in the street. And a lot of the times when we get calls about it, people can't identify who the person was that did it. They're long, you know, the person who's calling in is long gone and they're not willing to come back and sign a complaint. Those will fall in this, anything that has any teeth where we can really do anything about it would fall in the person flex category. Aggressive panhandling, making someone feel uncomfortable. We've had ones where windows got broken. Those are a person crime because you're the victim to it. And for that, we need that victim to be able to sign a complaint and be willing to report. I understand why people would want to, but that's one of the issues that we run into. We have had people that were willing to do that. Like I said, we had someone whose windshield got broken, we were able to go out and identify who he was, the rest of them. So really it comes down to the level of participation we're able to get from the community. And it's tough because I understand why people would want to. But if you have, and a lot of it's hard to prove if we don't have an individual with us. So if you do have video of it occurring and we have a location where it occurred and it does rise to the level of crime, we can use that video to go out and contact somebody. Depending what it was, you won't be able to do that. But, if that does happen, call us immediately. If you don't call immediately, you can always get in contact with CROs, send them the video. Odds are, if there's someone that works that area, they're gonna be out there next time. So if they are being aggressive like that, we can address it.
I just think that's the way, I see the body language and how a lot of stuff.
And like I said, I agree, and it's something we're trying to figure out the best way to work on. Like I said, it all depends. A lot of crimes we can do without a victim are very low. It's almost inconsequential. We really need the victims to step up to do a lot of that. No, if we have crime, we can do something. Okay? One more.
I couldn't hear what she was saying,
Yep.
so I don't know what you were talking about.
The windshield, the individual's washing the windshield wipers.
Oh, okay.
And she was saying how they're escalating, sometimes getting more aggressive, throwing
Yeah.
things, and that's what I was explaining. How that works.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good evening. So I'm Julie Wheaton. I'm the Sector 2 Lieutenant. Welcome back. It's been a few months since I've been up there for a second. So I cover these neighborhoods, 321, 324, 6th Avenue South and Colorado Boulevard East, essentially. This evening, I just wanted to touch base on the two biggest numbers there. So basically, persons crime in 321. And reviewing the numbers and the kind of crimes we're talking about, which driving that number is ag assault firearms, ag assault others, simple assaults. And what that translates to is ag assault firearm, obviously shootings, but also felony menacing, stabbing, or no, stabbings are an ag assault other, and simple assaults are largely domestic violence and known people. They're not usually unknown suspects. But the numbers we're talking about are from like 24 to 41 in that ag assault firearm. As David mentioned, we've had definitely an increase in road rage. So when we do that, Commander asks us to put together operations. We ran one Saturday night. We ran it Alameda, our west border, all the way to our east border on Alameda. Probably 10 or 12 traffic stops, wrote some citations, and then also did an education piece for people on what happens. I mean, in 2 days' time, we had a road rage that resulted in a fatal car accident, and we had a road rage that resulted in a homicide on Alameda. So definitely concerning and definitely driving the numbers. Also touch base, and just for the interest of time, I'll be brief, but I'll hear from you after the meeting. I wanted to touch on 324. The property crime is persistent, and when we're talking about property crime, theft from motor vehicles, larcenies, which include retail theft, but it also includes mailbox theft. It just involves those kind of things. Crim misses can be broken windows. It also can be domestic violence, damage domestic violence event, door lock damages, auto thefts and auto theft, attempt auto thefts also are included in there. And really, theft from motor vehicles were like 158 incidents, larceny 157, crookedness 167. It was all pretty much the same. Burglaries was the lowest category, was 65. So, and again, as Commander had already mentioned, you know, a lot of unlocked doors, open garages, things like that. Not always, but sometimes. So, welcome back. There's a quick overview of Sector 2. If you'd like to come talk with me or talk about your neighborhood, I'll be here on the 22nd. Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, quick question, with all the gunshots that have been going on, you know, in this area, 321 particularly, when I call, which I called several times on gunshots, what actually happens after that? Somebody had told me that you can detect where it's coming from.
We don't have ShotSpotter. It's detected by shots. So we have ShotSpotter in the city, but not in District 3. We have ShotSpotter up on the northeast and northwest side of the city. So what happens when you call in shots fired and officers are dispatched? When officers get there, they're obviously looking for in progress, and then they are also looking for collecting the shell casings and then doing the reports. Yes?
So one, why don't we have ShotSpotter? And two, does Arapahoe, so we live, I think there's one area right on the edge where it's unincorporated in Bayville. Does Aurora or Arapahoe County have ShotSpotter?
I don't know anything about Aurora or Arapahoe County, but we don't have ShotSpotter is an extremely expensive system, and it was put in the places in Denver that had the most shots fired at the time. I mean, I would tell you, is it never going to happen? I couldn't tell you that, but that's why. It's very expensive. In fact, our Chief Thomas, is the one that brought it to the city and worked hard and got the funding and got it up. But it can always be grown. But that's why it's initially in the series.
One of our lieutenants is not here tonight. Lieutenant Holderhouse used to oversee ShotSpotter, and there's been a lot of research of where are shots being fired throughout the city. And I know when it's your neighborhood, it's the worst of the worst, right? But when you look at the data, District 3 does not, thank you, have enough shootings to dictate that we have ShotSpotter. And I hope we never get that. And I love the citizens. And that's another thing. We have the citizens that actually call in when they hear what happens at shows.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
We only have one for all of Denver.
No, we don't have one. We have hundreds of, they're like speakers that get them. Yeah, no, we have them in
Right.
places all over.
What
It's
you're
not
talking
one.
about.
It's a system, but no, it's placed all around
Right.
other areas.
Yes, they're in the neighborhoods that receive the most.
Sir, do you have a question?
I know this pales in guns, but how do we request a speed limit sign in an area where we see
Dottie.
high rate of speed?
Dottie.
And then we can also work with our CROs and get a.
Yeah, we can help make that connection. Department of Transportation.
Are you talking about a hard sign or a digital sign?
A hard sign.
Okay. Yeah.
We just coming into our area that's now going to be a cruise street for a new apartment complex. The speed limit has gone up significantly.
Okay, stay after the meeting and we'll help facilitate that. But Lieutenant Wheaton's correct. It's Dottie, but let us help be the conduit to get that going.
Will you have general questions after?
Yes, yeah, but we always stick to an hour, and then anybody, just out of respect for people's time, and anybody else wants to keep talking, we'll hang out.
So a few of us are going to break out into a session and talk to my colleagues in Bible Park, but we'll have the other CROs and Lieutenant help with the other.
And everyone's welcome to stay, but we also want to give you an exit plan if you don't want to stay. So, yeah.
Before you break out, I just have one question about 311. We have a lot of like high-speed cars flying through the community.
And our speed limit signs aren't even accurate speed limit signs right now. They're like old speed limit signs. And so we're just a little bit concerned because of how many children, and we have 2 public schools with a walk-in community, with how fast people are flying down Bannock, First Avenue, Second Avenue, Third Avenue, where our schools are. And it's like, I personally witnessed kids almost getting hit, and they just blow straight through the stop sign. So what can we do?
Honestly, the best thing with that is 2 things. 1, signage, and 2, enforcement. You know we're out there doing what we can with the enforcement part, and you know who to talk to for
Dottie?
yeah, Dottie, but you could talk to CROs too.
Yeah.
Just like him, we could try and
Okay.
get them to go out there and do a survey of if the signs are, if you're saying they're wrong.
Yeah,
then
those
that needs
signs
to-
are
then
wrong.
that should probably, it's a little bit harder to get new signs, but if they're inaccurate, we really need to get that fixed.
Well, the people that are blowing through the stop signs and going 60 miles per hour down First Avenue are not caring about our stop signs anyway.
So we'll work with Lieutenant Hall, who oversees the traffic division
Great.
there. And I'll give him a call.
Awesome.
And we'll get some attention.
Thank you.
Yes.
One quick question, what's Dottie?
Department of Transportation and Infrastructure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, we always
That's
use
okay.
this acronym. So I'm gonna move it on. Christie, you wanna come and talk about what's coming up? Vital Park, people, and I'm sorry this is taking longer, but we'll get a conversation going here shortly.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christy, and I'm your Community Engagement Program Manager for the district. So, anytime you have events or you want to know about our events or outreach, please feel free to reach out. My contact information is here, and then there's additional contact information in the back. So we have our neighborhood watch training coming up. That's here at the station on September 19th. And for those of you who are in our neighborhood watch program or are after you take that training, if you're interested, we go one step further with the virtual meeting to talk about the city resources, and ideas for you to start talking to neighbors about crime prevention. So those are really important meetings to attend. If some of you may have seen the signs in the neighborhood that say neighborhood watch, and they have the orange bar across the top. Also, the Denver Police Department, our officers have a portion of the training about implicit bias. So officers go out and educate people on proper reporting and how to prevent erroneous reporting. So highly recommend if you have the time to attend, if it's been a while, let's do this. We also have our Hero Fest coming up here around the Cherry Creek Mall. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff there, including all kinds of good stuff. Denver Police Helicopter, our horses. So it's a great family fun day. That's on October 5th. And then our Host for Safety coming up as well. And the flyers, all these flyers are in the back. And then our Coffee with the Cops is the first Wednesday of every month at Nixon's Coffee House there, right off of 525 and Museum. And then, for those of you in the back that were looking, the city opened up a new open data dashboard. So in addition to just the Denver Police crime map, you can now look up lots of stats like where traffic accidents happen and other city department information as well. So this highlighted section talks about that. There's a good tutorial. This database is massive. So I highly recommend if you're looking for something specific to watch the tutorial so that you can get where you want to go. In addition to that, I know Kale mentioned the QR code, so we have Kale's flyers in the back for CAPTA to get more information about that. And then the one that we didn't have up here, the bicycle registration event that we have coming up that we talked about, it's on the flyer as well. And for those of you, I know we briefly mentioned Denver Track. Afterwards, I'm here to answer any questions. Denver Track is the registration program that we partner with CAPTA on to register your vehicles. And hopefully we'll prevent them from getting stolen, but if they are stolen and you have one of those air tags in your car, our officers are able to help you recover that if you're enrolled in the program. All of our contact information, so all of our CROs, all that contact information you're looking for, if you didn't grab a screenshot tonight, it's all in this one right here. And then the 529 Garage, what we were talking about for the bike registration event, where you can help unite away, that's in that pamphlet back there.
If you can't tell, Christie's that friend that always has everything in her purse for you.
usually the first Wednesday of every month, with, holidays and, exception. And always our station desk number is 720-913-1300, should you ever need it. I'm toying around with the idea of this December 4th, CAB meeting, canceling it because of the holidays. It's not as attended as the others, but can we do an informal vote? Does everybody want to do the December 4th, or should we cancel it? This is your meeting. What would you like?
Who wants the meeting December 4th? Who does not want the meeting December 4th?
Yeah, we'll keep it then.
Yeah,
Yeah, see, I was gonna go skiing that day.
Commander,
Yeah, why would
you know, when we had one meeting over at South High, I thought that was a neat area. I mean, if you want to have this many people, I'm very impressed with the amount of people we need today. It might be something you want to look at when you talk about it.
Yeah, and we do those meetings in the community periodically. The meeting today, there's some issues in Bible Park that we're going to work together to solve. That's why we have so many people here. And I love this retreat, the most engaged district. I love the practice. So that ends it for this. If I can have my Bible Park people come and let's sit up front so we can open space back there for all those Christmas flyers. And then we're going to have the two other lieutenants and the CRO answer
I want to ask dude over there about puffering. And then I want to talk to dude about, yeah, it's called puffing. It's not puffer. Okay. Don't talk to you about puffing. Talk to dude about that thing. Yep. I wanted to ask this lady here. Sign language lady something.
See what they're talking about.
Yeah, but I just wanted to ask her something about sign language.
It's big. Her office has been dealing with it.
Excuse me, ma'am? Ma'am? Sign language? Hey, can I ask you something? I was actually gonna, I wanted to learn sign language. I was gonna go to school for it and everything. But I was wondering, is there a word for like, for the? Is that used, or do you guys just cancel the?
Yeah, that's not in the language. Kind of like in foreign languages.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pointless word, right?
Because, well, American Sign Language, I hate the word American, it's not English. ASL, American Sign Language, is not English. It doesn't follow English syntax structure or anything. Yeah. So a lot of things like is and the, it, are, they're not included in the language. It's not part of the language.
Because it would just be harder, it's extra stuff to do, right?
It's not harder or extra stuff to do. It's not literally part of the language.
Right.
Just like in Spanish, there are English words that are not in the Spanish language. It's not part of that language.
Right.
So when you're doing Spanish, when an English phrase is said and then you translate it into Spanish or Italian or Russian, that word is not
right.
included.
No, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of languages.
You just interpret the meaning.
Right.
So it's the meaning.
Okay.
It's not the word specific. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I got you. What you're saying. Red Pill Rancy wanted to know, is there, like, I know the alphabet, but is there cuss words, or do you have to spell those out?
Oh, no.
Could you tell me that the F word?
Well, that one's pretty standard, but there's different signs depending on which way you're using it.
Okay. Like if you're saying F this guy.
Well, that one we all know. That's the universal sign for that.
Oh, okay, so that's the one, the middle finger?
That one's universal, but there's other ways and other phrases that use that specific FUCK that there's different signs of expressing it.
Okay. All right. Thanks. And then also, what's sign language for police?
Police officer.
Like this? With your left hand or your
Well,
right
no.
hand?
If you're right-handed, you use right hand dominant. If you're right-handed, you cross over.
Okay.
If you're left-handed, you would cross over.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Good luck.
All right. I got it. I figured out how to do it.
And so she texted me and sent me a video of the house showing up. So I drove down there.
You want to go talk to her?
That state patrol guy?
Oh, he was state patrol guy? Oh, he's right there. Yeah, let's go ask him. Okay, guys, let's go talk to someone about puff laws. Hey, how's it going, man? Hey, I had a question I wanted to ask you on the record. I didn't get to raise my hand because it was not enough time, but I was wondering, do you have any data on how many vehicles are stolen from puffing?
So I can tell you some. I can't tell you like everything. So let's talk about data, right? So when we talk about data, specifically like the data we are using here, is all about stolen vehicles. So when a stolen vehicle is entered into the Colorado Crime Information Center, which feeds into the national one, how you know a car is stolen, right? When a vehicle is entered as stolen, there's a million fields of criteria. You know, like, do you know the person who stole it? Where were the keys? Bumper stickers? You know, there's a million fields. So the data we have on puffing is only as good as the reports that come in. So sure, we'll see some car left running. We'll see some, but it's not a mandatory field you have to fill out. So I can't tell you what I know is everything, but I can tell you that there's some data on it, but it's more prevalent than we can tell you by data.
So basically, you don't have it. I mean, there exists, but you don't actually
It's
have
not
it. Like,
right. It's not conclusive data. Not that I would tell you there's 35 cars stolen. I can't tell you that because the data is just not solid enough.
Well, that seems kind of weird that the data wouldn't be solid because they actually created a law that makes it illegal to leave your vehicle with. So if they were able to pass a law, then I would think they would have data to back that up.
And you could absolutely look at how many citations were issued for puffing, but you can't unless the stolen vehicle field is entered about that, miscellaneous or one of the keys or anything like that. Because keys could be in a car, but it could not necessarily be puffing. Like the easiest way to check carjacking. Yes, the keys were left in the car, but that's because it was running and somebody was forcibly removed. So you can't necessarily conclude that that was a puffing incident. It's a really convoluted data as far as I can't tell you conclusively.
Right. Understand. It seems weird that they would make a law, but then there's not actually data to go off of to say, hey, this is the reason we made this law.
It's like I said, it's difficult, but you could also, there's a flip side of that too. Like I'm telling you about the law enforcement data. There's a flip side of the National Insurance Crime Bureau tracks their own data based on insurance claims, which is obviously also has its own missing chunk. If you don't report it to your insurance, it's not going to have that insurance claim. That insurance claim data also has those fields as well, like that 30 or 50% I was talking about in stolen vehicles has keys left in them. Part of that comes from the insurance claim. The insurance claim said, hey, how was your car stolen? You're making it different. Oh, it was left there. So it's not either that either data source is right or wrong. Both have flaws. That's how we get an idea of the
Hey
prevalence.
guys, in the back, Ben is trying to talk and our folks can't hear. Guys, can you step outside and close the door, please, so Commander can talk? Thank you.
All right, sorry about that. I said some really great things there, and I probably forgot them. No, being serious, I like that we have this many people. This means that I have an engaged community. Engaged communities are safer communities. They help me be successful. So before I even begin on what we're doing with my great partners here, and what we have done and what we're doing and what we'll do in the future. I want to give you a voice. I want to hear what your concerns are, what you're seeing, and then we'll share. There are some limitations of what we can do, and we'll talk about that. And what I'm really talking about is noise ordinances during daylight hours. Okay, how about you start us off?
My name's Eric Corey. I live on the park. My wife and I live here in the park. In February, we started hearing noise in the park and partying there, gunshots, pretty frankly too. A stray bullet came through our window and almost shot my wife in the head. She was sitting here doing email, and we called police, showed up right away, and since then, I went out there looking for, shell cases and looked at the police and everything to try and help out, but I mean, that's a serious situation. I think a lot of people here are upset about the noise, that sort of thing, but we are hearing gunshots. I grew up in the neighborhood, born and raised, and it's a situation where I think we're pretty concerned about the safety of the park. We like to use the park regularly, we like to use the park, and, we don't want
No, and thank you for sharing that. And as we go talk through this, that's like the top of the list, right? People shooting guns, that's all day, every day, we gotta put that at the top of the list. And to make it even a little more personal, just so you know, I'm at your park. My son plays lacrosse there all the time. A lot of our officers have children that play soccer or lacrosse at the park, so this is personal for me. And then I do know your case. Every week we get with the detectives and see what crimes have happened throughout the district, and I remember your case specifically. So, back there.
So I first noticed this problem actually about 2 years ago. I woke up about 1 in the morning, huge noise. I thought there was an actual concert in the park. So I went through the bridge, the Bates. I couldn't see anything. The noise was coming from the parking lot. And what's going on is they're backing up their trucks to the parking lot, and they've got commercial grade speakers. And you can hear it from a quarter mile away. You can hear it at the Safeway up on Yale and Monaco. You can hear it over there in Holly Hills. It's been that loud.
Glass at your house.
Yeah. And it's just massively loud, and it can be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It can be 6 o'clock in the evening. It can be 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's how long this has been going on. So, we call the non-emergency number, we call 311, we call our community resource officers, we've gone to our councilwoman Romero, and it's been going on that long. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of a reprieve, and then obviously in the summer months, it's just constant. And also you go down there, the parking lot's trash, they're doing hand-to-hands down there, a lot of drug dealing, there's a lot of sex in cars that you can see that's going on down there. There's a lot of stuff going on down there that I've seen over and over and over again. And we're just frustrated because, we'll call the police, and they'll come and they'll clear them out. And you'll get a call back and say, we clear them out, it's okay. But then they come back an hour later because there's no deterrent to keep them from coming back. They're committing a ton of municipal violations, but they're not getting any tickets for it. They're not being ID'd. They're drinking in the park. They're drinking in the park after hours. You've got disturbing the peace, and they're just telling them to go away, and then they just come back. That's been going on for 2 years.
Is it true that there are no deterrents?
There's no deterrent whatsoever.
No, I'm asking the commander. Pardon me? Is it true that there are no deterrents?
No, my command staff and I have gotten together. What my orders going forward is I want citations, okay? I want people cited. But I'm not ever gonna stand in front of you and mislead you, lie to you. Citations are good for the good people that pay their citations and learn a lesson. Some citations are just crumpled up and thrown away, but it can cause a warrant, a municipal warrant that we can arrest and later down the road. But, when we do have violations, and my great partners there, we've agreed that we will conduct citations. And citations are for everything. If residents are there, if people in your neighborhood are there, breaking the law, breaking the municipal ordinance, they will get citations too. So I just want to be transparent on that. This happens a lot when we have speeding in a certain neighborhood. The neighbors are tired of the speeding. We go in there with enforcement. Then I get phone calls from the neighbors yelling at me that they got a ticket. So I just want to be honest and transparent on what we're going to do here.
Can I also
Yes.
just ask that, Mayor? So, we did get the information this a couple years. We got here last October, Lieutenant Timmerman had shared, this was, the previous summer, there were also complaints, we noticed the same thing. So Commander, tasked, lieutenants with making sure that our, details know, Lieutenant, Sandoval's detail and my detail, afternoon and overnights, have done 207 extra patrols, padded out at that park since January 1st. So although I'm not saying that should like alleviate your frustration, just know it's not that it has been ignored. 207. I can't think of a place in District 2 where we've had 207 extra patrols. But I understand the frustration. They come, they go, people come, they go. Just I'm sure to add to all the stuff that the park rangers have done.
So we try to look it up,
Yeah.
and the issue with municipal citation, it doesn't always show on the tab because it's a ticket.
Here's the other problem. Sorry to interrupt. The majority of calls for service are coming in open park hours, 5:30 to 9:30, 10:30 at night. The park's open till 11. Jessica can speak to the sound meters that they employ to try to address sound issues. Do you want to talk about that, Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely. So I do want to start off, I do have a couple of stats for overnight citations that our park rangers that work overnight have issued. In the last 2 months, there has been 30 curfew citations, 16 noise violation citations, and 19 blast citations. That might sound like a lot, it might not sound like a lot. What I will tell you is for our night crew in one park, that is a lot. That is more than any other park in the city of Denver. Our night crew, while we are split up in districts, similar to police districts during the day, our night rangers are not. They go through the entire city. We would love to have a ranger sit in by the park, and so we hear the frustrations that, we clean them out, DPD cleans them out, and then they come back. And so we're trying to kind of coordinate and work with DPD on, we patrol at this time, maybe DPD comes at this time, we go back at another time. And so a little bit what Lieutenant Wheaton was talking about, our rangers have sound monitors, so we can measure sound noise violations, right? So you guys get we get a sound complaint from either a neighbor, or DPD notifies us that there's a noise complaint. We can't just go out, whether it's daytime hours or nighttime hours, and tell people to leave or write them a citation because it's loud. We have to measure that sound level, and it differs between daylight hours and overnight hours. Now, if they are there past curfew hours, that's a whole other violation, right? But we do have sound monitors that we are able to test the decibel limits of the noise in the park.
That's a lot of hands up.
There used to be recently an electronic sign in the parking lot saying curfew will be enforced in Waddle Park. And apparently there were also some kind of cameras like they have in grocery parking lots coming down. Suddenly those were gone. And I'm wondering why. And my other question is, it sounds like it's very nice that you do citations, but I would imagine the people we're dealing with that are turning their sound up so it's vibrating my house. I would imagine they're the ones who crumple up the citations and throw them down.
Yeah.
There must be something that can be done when there's an unruly group and after dark, maybe not after 11, but a lot of times it is, that can get those people out of there other than handing them a citation. I don't think that means anything to those people.
Well, the citation, when they do crumple it down, they're not showing up for court. So the next time we contact them, they will have a warrant out for them. As far as the digital sign, my friend Jim called and we had a long conversation. I thought it was productive. I'm moving, they're called variable message boards, and I use them throughout this district. And if you don't know your district's 1/3 of the city. So you have the largest district in the city. So I use those variable message boards for multiple reasons. I use them for when our children went back to school. I wanted the drivers to slow down and understand we have young youth walking to school now. So I use them for that. We've used them for, we had a uptick of road rage incidents. So I put them on major thoroughfares to tell people to slow down. So it's not that we took it away from the park. We use it multiple times. And after the conversation with Jim, I met with my CROs. We're gonna move it back there for a little bit. But I'm gonna have to take it again. And you have that hard sign right at the entrance too. Well, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes a digital sign doesn't mean anything. And a lot of times, just recently, I put it in the DU area for a separate issue, and it got vandalized. So
Do you only have one sign in the entire district?
no, we have two. So, yeah, let's do that.
Too many signs. I mean, it's a huge district, and I'm sure it's looking for the music.
They're $15,000 apiece.
So, and like, we look for funds all the time, but, and it's a good idea, Jim, you brought up the idea, we'll put it back there for a while and see if we can reduce some of it. Go ahead.
I'd really like to see that camera out there, but my question is anyone reviewing, I guess not taping
the recording.
Right, the recording.
Yeah, when we put these cameras out there, I actually called the bureau that oversees those cameras. They only have 2 of them. You're talking about the camera with that blue light, right? And everybody knows it's a camera, right? Yeah, so right now they're deployed at another problem outside of the district.
I live on the northwest corner of Yale and Quebec, and I sit out on my deck, try to enjoy myself. And I often stay up late night, early in the morning. And 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, there's like light shows going on and music that I can hear inside my house with the windows and doors shut. We have an acoustic wall around my community, and that doesn't even do anything. I've walked over there, and I've walked through the parking lot. It's a free-for-all. I mean, I personally have never seen any drugs, but there's beer and alcohol all over the place. And I know there's an ordinance that says you can have liquor in the park, beer and wine, I believe, but not in the right of way. That's just a flagrant violation. And then when I call, and I've been talking with Lieutenant Wheaton since she took over this job about this issue, and I've called probably no less than a dozen times, and it's always after 11 o'clock. It's usually like 1 to 2, 3 in the morning, and there's a breakdown between dispatch and the police department, I think, because every time, I don't even wait for them to ask me. I tell them, I will sign a complaint and I want to hear from an officer. And I think 2 times I've heard from an officer. One time it was actually someone from precinct 1, he said they were swamped in precinct 2. So I had some time, so I came over, and by the time I got there, they were gone.
Well, thank you for sharing your experience, and you are gonna get more phone calls. We got our lieutenant that's overnight. That's something, and you're right, there is sometimes a disconnect. It doesn't get in the notes that the citizen wants a callback. That's big with me. Customer service is very important. You need to know what the result was. So we're gonna do a better job.
Well, I'm sure Lieutenant Wheaton took care of it, but there was one time, I actually walked over there, after the cops, all they do is drive through, the lights on, they hit the siren, they just let them, they just more or less heard them out. There were 2 cruises, side by side talking to each other. I walked, I got probably within 20 yards. And I was like, because they saw the police. And I'm like, and they had to see me, but they just drove past me.
I got a quick question.
Yeah.
I have a daughter that lives in Seattle.
Yeah.
And their curfew in their parks is 9 p.m. Why in the world would Denver parks be open until 11?
Yeah. So.
They gotta be back.
The ranges don't work overnight.
We do.
There is a night shift.
Yeah.
Oh, that's-
So our ranger program works 24/7, 365. So we're mimicking a lot of the DPD shifts. To answer your question straightforward and quickly, it's because there's summer hours. Sometimes in the summer, it doesn't get dark till 9:30. And so I don't unfortunately make the rules for the park hours, but the parks are open 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. every park in the city of Denver, and including our mountain park section. So that's kind of how it's always been. I think for 15 years or so since our ranger program has been in commission.
Is that summer hours that you're talking about?
All the time.
So 11 o'clock in the winter, it doesn't seem like there's a reason to have it open that long. Who makes the decision? Oh.
City council.
Yep, so city
City
council.
council has made the park hour, and I came here, as one of your officers in 91. That it has been 11 o'clock ever since I've been on this job.
It's not working.
It's not working.
Yep.
Commander, I called several times, and I had an officer, God bless her, she said that she didn't contact the guys at the park. I thought that was kind of interesting, because normally if there's a complaint, they make contact to get a name, at least in clear or whatever. Now, I know that, the calls being in the queue and all that stuff, that's important, but my problem is, how many times you gotta keep advising these guys, hey, your music is too loud. After you advise them one time, because she told me that she actually has to tell them to knock it off, and then if she comes back, then she'll write a citation. I told her, I'll sign the complaint. But the problem is that we gotta do this every time. Now, I know we used to when there was a loud noise complaint, you tell them, but not something like the park where they're doing it every Friday and Saturday.
So and I'll let the Rangers talk about it, but if there's a disturbance and it meets the threshold, we can sign right there, we don't.
It meets the threshold. You guys have to believe that it meets the threshold every Thursday,
But
Friday.
sir, I can't go to court unless I have a meter showing it met the.
And that's true, the judges are like that, for sure. Now, the other thing, Commander, is that, I don't know if you're aware that Aurora has taken an aggressive approach to this similar situation just recently. They just put impounded 7 cars, and, I guess they put some people, so they have to go to court. I think, on a personal level, I think that whatever we're doing right now is not working, because it's continued all summer. And I gotta tell you, I live about a half a mile from the park, and that music's like it's next door and loud.
Right.
And it's, I have a gentleman that we contacted, and, he understands a different type of music. This particular music that we're hearing is from South America. My guess is Venezuelan, and I'm a little bit concerned about what's going on with Venezuelan gangs and taking over territory. And so, I would like to partner up with, of course, our police department and our rangers. How can we help as citizens?
So, let's move to that. What I need people calling in, all right? I need people, we actually looked at the data. There's not as many calls for service that I expected. So, a lot of times people complain on social media, right? And then it gets repeated 30 times. Now it's 30 different disturbances. So what I'm asking, believe it or not, it's gonna make my stats look terrible, but I want you to call in. And if you're willing to sign a complaint, make sure the dispatcher knows. If you want a phone call back, make sure the dispatcher knows. My staff here, we're all on the same page. We're gonna make sure that the officers follow up when they're asked to make a phone call.
What's the
And-
number?
What's the number?
The non-emergency number?
311?
No.
913, 2000.
Can you do something about the time we wait on hold for somebody to answer the call? I've called in 5 times, I asked if they asked me for a complaint, I did, I gave my phone number, never heard from me. But I'll sit out on our back patio, I live right next door to Eric, and I'll sit on our back patio, we no longer have guests, we haven't had anybody over to our house all summer long, because we back in the park is so bad, you can't have a conversation.
Right.
And I will sit on hold for sometimes 15 or 20 minutes, for somebody to finally answer the phone, say, oh yeah, we know about it, take your phone in, and that's basically all you get. I bet you everybody here that's ever called in, I gave up after 6 times. I will start calling every time, multiple times, whatever it takes. Maybe what we need to do is all of us park our cars in that parking lot Friday afternoon and sit there till they don't come. My thing is, if there's someplace else, maybe Aurora, and they got chased out of there, they came to us.
So a little bit on the Aurora situation. That is the road racers that they seize those vehicles. We're actually doing that as well. We do special ops, not just with the district. We bring all the district officers together. We engage state patrol. We're monitoring their open social media and finding out where they're going. If they agree to meet at Bible Park, we head them off, so we disrupt it before it even starts. So we are doing similar things.
One of the things that would help, one of us put your sound meter in our yard, or backyard, and then you can have the sound all the time. I think you have to record it, you have to listen to it, and I called in. What can we do to fix this problem? Because it's not only affecting our lives, it's affecting our property value. But you look at our tax rate, when we pay for taxes, we pay a lot of money and the park's not being taken care of. The grass is yellow, there's no flowers this year. It's a mess.
And homeowners insurance keeps going up.
Right. So if we want to cure this problem, tell us what we can do.
Please.
So a few things that I want to touch on is, a lot of you guys have my cell phone number. I'm going to also leave it here tonight. You can call 311. You can reach our Ranger voicemail box overnight, and it is monitored 24/7. So that kind of goes into the reporting, and I apologize if I haven't called any of you back, but I'm very happy to take those messages, those complaints, those reports, because it kind of goes into, like Commander was saying, it adds up on the number of calls, right? And I know that can be frustrating on its own. And I am also very happy, we take sound monitor measurements from different areas of the park, right? I go into the parking lot. I go up to a lot of y'all's fence lines. I'm very happy if you would like me to come on your fence line, let me know. Give me a message. I'll do it during the day. If this is an issue, we'll do it overnight. So
The big issue is the night.
okay.
1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sure. So the reporting thing is huge, right? And I understand that you guys, it's frustrating to wait on the phone lines. 311 after hours does have a Ranger message. I believe right now it is prompt number 6, and you'll leave a voicemail for a urban park ranger. That voicemail box is monitored. If there is not a ranger that responds that night, we do get that report. So it does go into that reporting system, just like Commander was talking. And any of the reports, you guys email me, text me, call me on my cell phone. I also send into that report at 311. I like to give you guys a little more direct.
What is your cell phone number?
720-601-6153. And I'll leave a few of my cards up in the front as well.
And when you do call the Ranger line, you do leave a voice message. So it might seem like it's cold calling, but as soon as you hang up, it rings whoever is monitoring that. If it's her cell phone, like her work cell phone, right away, like a phone call. So as soon as you hang up, we pick up and we hear it. Leave your name, your number, so we can call you back.
And if you want me to take sound measurements from your fence line, I unfortunately cannot go into private property, but I can do it from your fence line. It's up against park property. Or hey, my neighbor is closer. Let me know. Leave that in a message to me. Tell me. Email me.
I just want to add a few things to reiterate what some of my neighbors said. So, Ron's my neighbor, Harris my neighbor, we live around the corner from each other. Right on Newport Street, Newport and Bucknell, right by the direct park entrance there.
Easy.
And,
Closing all the
you know, everyone's been talking about what's been going on at the park, which I think we're all pretty familiar with now. But sometimes there's a lot of it spills out into the neighborhood too, which is where police gets involved, you know, we've had an uptick in violent crime in our neighborhood, break-ins, car theft. Our next door neighbors had an armed break-in a couple of years ago. Just earlier in March, there was a woman who came barreling down, going about 60 miles an hour, right down South Newport Street, which is about a third of a mile long stretch. No stop signs, no crosswalks, no speed limit signs. I've been working with Antonio, I've been working with Dan Romero Campbell, and trying to get Dottie involved with maybe putting a permanently fixed, electronic speed limit sign or radar speed sign up on Newport Street. And so, this isn't just necessarily a park problem, it's things that have been going around the neighborhood on Quebec, on South Newport. Now, all of us, I think we appreciate more than we can say what the Rangers do, what the police officers do, what Denver Police in general does. And we know that we're all strapped for resources, but what we're trying to figure out really is how to better organize so that we improve our communications with all of you. And even if it comes down to helping find resources, find funding, fundraising, to just this under control, because we've seen this uptick of criminal activity, and just kind of flaunting noise ordinances in our neighborhood. I would say really since the pandemic, it's kind of ratcheted up a lot. And there's a concern even, Commander, you mentioned that your son plays lacrosse in Bible Park. So as you know, in the fall, a lot of lacrosse, there's a lot of football practices going on there, a lot of increased traffic, a lot of increased foot traffic. Families going into the park, and you've got speeders going right on South Newport Street, pedal to the park. We've seen aggressive driving, people going aggressively around to their cars, around families. It's an ongoing concern. And so what we really, I think, are all trying to get a handle on is how do we start bringing this under control for better communications, more organized communications with all of you, partnering with all of you better. And also, like I said, if there's any way to increase just the resources, let the neighborhood be a partner to increase any kind of resources or funding, we're open to all those conversations. Because it's frankly scary, what we've seen in our neighborhood in the past 4 years, but the escalation has definitely gone up in the past 2 years.
Absolutely. And piggyback on that, these guys do a fantastic job with what they have to do. A big part of our problem is we're reaping the rewards of what we've elected in the legislature, the city council, the mayor. I mean, the legislature has demoralized the police department. The mayor says he's gonna increase the numbers of the police department. But who in their right mind would want to be a police officer in this environment with the way they demoralize them?
But this still is the greatest job, and the men and women do it not for the money, believe me, not for the money, all right?
Yeah, they don't do it for the 6 figures just to start off right
The
away.
mayor, to his credit, is working hard to fill as many academies as he can. We're always recruiting. On the back of my phone is even a code to recruit for. And I was at a funeral, believe it or not, and a security guard was there, who had moved from California. They heard the code, trying to recruit her. So we're always doing it. But as far as resources, so it's no secret. We're down officers, right? So sometimes you're gonna see an officer come in there and turn on their lights and just get everybody out. That's at my direction, because to do it safe, I need a couple officers to come in there and give citations. However, I don't want you waiting for hours for a couple of officers to come free. So what my instructions are, even when they're going from one priority call to the other, if their path takes them anywhere near Bible Park, take a little U-turn in there, hit the lights, get them out of there, get to your next call. And then when we do have the resources, then we'll go in there and give those citations. Or if there's criminal activity that warrants an arrest, we'll do that as well.
Yes, Mayor, I wonder where this is going to end, right? We've lived in our neighborhood for 45 years, And what's gone on the last couple of years, initially it was annoying, just an annoyance. And now it's feeling like terrorism. But we sit on our back patio and we never know when there's going to be an explosion of the commercial grade speakers. It was a week ago, it was on a Friday night. The officers chased some of these individuals out of the park. My wife and I do a program called Walk with the Dog on Saturday morning. We got over there Saturday morning and into the park comes a car, parks right in front of the sort of presentation area for the program. A couple guys jump out, they put on their speakers. This is 15 feet from where everybody is. They shoot a video of everything going on, jump in their car, and then say, "You'll see this on TikTok." What are we supposed to do with something like that?
Report it. And I think, I'm sorry a cop's not right there to take care of that action right then and there. But I need to report it.
Well, you need to record them. They're recording you, you need to record them.
Yeah, they're recording them. They're, trying to make it the latest TikTok sensation. Ma'am, go ahead.
So my concern goes past just the noise in the park, and we do back up to the park. So we get a lot of the noise, but on our street alone in the last couple of years, we've had 2 shootings. One man ended up in the hospital, there was a shooting, I think, in the basement. We've had homeless people that constantly are wandering through the neighborhood. So I don't feel safe anymore. I don't feel safe going outside my home, going for a walk. I would never even consider as of late going to the park and going for a walk. And I used to walk the park every single day. And I don't even feel safe going to the park anymore, unless I've got somebody with me. And we had another instance where we know somebody was in our backyard, because we keep our gate, we now keep our gate locked, but at the time, there was a gate, the gate was not locked. And we know that somebody was in our backyard because there was dog feces left right outside our back door. We didn't happen to be home. So I know things are going on in the neighborhood. So my question is the neighborhood being patrolled during the evenings? Is the neighborhood being patrolled? Because I don't see police cars patrolling the area, maybe in the park. And like I said, I've avoided, I don't have an issue in the park because I don't like going to the park anymore, because I don't feel safe in the park anymore. So how do you address those concerns?
So, great question, thank you. Sorry for both experiences. Lieutenant Wheaton is such an engaged commander of that sector. I attend roll calls frequently with her, and we direct our officers where to be. And you know what that's based on? Calls for service, where we're seeing things. So first step, I need people calling in, okay? I get it, it's frustrating to sit on a phone waiting for an operator to answer. They have staffing issues as well, but I need you to be with me on this. Report it, please.
I have reported, and I had another instance, and it was either the beginning of the summer, maybe the end of last summer, where there was a passed out person laying on the sidewalk. I saw him there, I went for a walk, I came back from my walk, and he was still laying there. So I came home and I thought, well, maybe he's wrong, maybe something's wrong with him. Maybe he's injured, maybe he's been hurt, something. I called the police, I was on hold, and it wasn't the police problem, it was the dispatch. I was literally on hold for 15 minutes before anybody even found out what my concern was.
Yes.
So the problem I have is the guy could have been dead, the guy could have, there's a lot of things that could have happened to him.
Well, and thank you for sharing that. So what I would like to tell everybody, that's a 911 call. That is not.
I did call 911.
For 15 minutes, you
15 minutes I was on hold.
And I'm very, very disappointed on that experience. But that sounds like someone that is unhoused and needs services and, or medical attention.
No, what I was told when the police got there very fast, what I was told when the police got there, he was drunk, passed out, and he came out of the park. It was actually right, pretty much at one of the exits coming onto Newport Street, you know, one of the bridges coming across, and he had come out of the park and he was drunk and passed out, I guess, on the sidewalk. So I mean, these are maybe one instance isn't a big deal, but when you've got 4 or 5 instances where there's constantly things going on in our neighborhood that I observe, then I get concerned about it. It's like, is our neighborhood safe?
Well, it is safe, and I'll counter with you. One instance is bad. One incident, especially in the scenario you just said, we have a human being, one of our citizens, who could be injured, so drunk they're passed out on the sidewalk. When you have those type of experiences, being on hold for 15 minutes, I want my CROs to be notified. I have a sergeant that meets with the dispatch office on a weekly basis to express what things we are seeing. So if you ever have an experience like that, reach out to my great CRO team and we'll have that conversation. Sir?
Commander Bell, you could make, you know, the recommendation to close that park.
Pardon me?
The park should actually be closed.
When they close the other parks.
They're closing parks all over the city.
Here,
So
here.
why not close this one?
Well, me as a commander, I don't close parks.
You could advocate for it.
And I'll tell you, I don't want a park closed. What I want done is us to work together so we get this park so it's more enjoyable for everyone. It's not just for the community, Regan, it's for you. It's for you too to go to that park. It's for me to go to that park. So I don't want a park closed. I want the park open for all of us, and how we get there is work together, and address these issues. By the way, we've got away from it. The drug issues, if there's open air drug dealing going there, I have an undercover team that I can use and to address that. And one other thing, Councilwoman Romero Campbell is constantly in contact with this team. We have great relationships with her. We're always in communication. She's given us information that you're giving her. I'm giving information that you're giving me. And because of a scheduling conflict, that's why she's not here. Sir?
Can we email or text in place of calling?
Yeah, but I would rather have it.
No, I understand, but because of the length of time one has to stay on the phone, I mean, can we also email you and text you with a report that will get to your attention?
The problem is, I don't have an officer that will sit there and look at a text or email and be able to respond. We need those phone calls. I need to know when it's happening, and that records it, right?
The lieutenants are gonna do some research and come back to you about whether you can text 911.
I'm pretty sure you can text that.
Yeah.
But you know, one point that I'm trying to play into here is whether, you know, this happens so frequently that here are the numbers that you're looking for. And those numbers numbers of contacts is what I'm talking about.
And I went to the academy last year, dispatch, and they would just incorporate this new program where you text.
That's exactly what they were saying.
You can text 311. The name is Sunny, but it's 311.
Let me get some other, Sheriff.
So one way that my team is happy to help assist with tracking the calls is if after you hang up the phone and you're contacting the non-emergent line or dispatch for an emergency, shoot one of my CROs an email. We do not monitor our emails 24 hours a day, but if you just say, hey, I had to call tonight, I had an incident, we are happy to create an Excel spreadsheet that we can present to the commander on the calls for service that were made but we can't respond to everything 24 hours a day. We have days off as well.
Can you give us an
So-
email address? we
Yeah,
use?
yeah, so one of the things that we do as community resource officers, I hear a lot of like, you know, if an officer's not contacting you back, or if something like that, if you don't get a dissertation from that officer, we wanna know about it, because that something might have happened where they might not be able to call you back. So let us be that voice for that officer and give you guys a dissertation of what's happening and what was going on. At that time, it could have had a shooting happen somewhere else, or something that they got dispatched to right away. Okay, so what we like to do as CROs is a lot of follow-up and make sure that you guys are actually being heard and that call is actually going somewhere. So a lot of the things that we do is when we see a problem like that, is we look up the call load in that area. Once we see an issue in that area, we look at different things. It might not be a police matter, it might be something that has to do with city ordinances. Might have to do something that has to do with city inspections. We are that resource for you guys to get it to the right party, whether it's something that's the ACT team, if the commander needs to be notified about it, we notify the commander. So we're that resource for all of you, so that way it gets routed to the right person and you're not waiting for a month to try to get it to somewhere else. We have all flyers back here for all of our information. There's 4 of us on the team. I'm in Sector 1, but I also help out with Sector 2, who's AJ right here, and Sergeant Kira is our sergeant. So anything that we can help you guys out with for a long-term solution and a dissertation that we can help you with, please reach out to us. Sometimes it gets frustrating because we don't get enough of that feedback, because simply the citizens don't know about the CRO team. So the more that we can get you guys aware of it, and the more that you let your neighbors know, we'd love to help you out with that problem. All of our information is back here, and if you have any questions after, we'll be willing to help you.
Where do we
Okay?
go for that? Can you give us an email address?
Yeah,
They're all right here.
they're all right here on the flyer.
Okay.
So after this, if you guys wanna meet with us, we'll give you the flyers and make sure that you guys get hooked up with our team, and that we can help you guys out, okay?
Ma'am, way in the back.
Hi, I understand about calling in, and we have, but what I'm trying to think of is if there was more presence of the police in the neighborhood, maybe this wouldn't be happening. I haven't seen a police car go by in our neighborhood in a very long time. And if we just had more presence, maybe they wouldn't come into our neighborhood the way they are.
You're absolutely right, and unfortunately, we've talked about that. We don't have the resources, we're not at full staffing right now. The mayor's trying to get us there. Lieutenant Wheaton, I can't praise her enough as to how much she is talking to her officers of being in the area, in the neighborhood. The officers are there, you're not seeing them, but they're also going from call to call. And we have to prioritize calls. So that's why I really want to have this conversation about, you're hearing gunshots, that is a 911 call. Please don't, that's not for non-emergency. That's a 911 call, I need to hear about it. Ma'am in the pink.
I just wanted to share with you, since the councilwoman is not here, which I was hoping she would be, earlier this summer, I emailed her office, including a video, and our house is right next to Jim's, on Bucknell and South Onyx. We're at the junction of the south side of the park. And I included a video of one of these concerts that pops up, and is super frustrating, because our windows are rattling, etc. And I know you guys have a super hard job, but when I sent this to her office, I included the note saying, we called the police several times, everybody's doing this, blah, blah, blah. And the response I got, well, you should really try calling the police. That's what I got from her.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is insane.
Well, and I wouldn't blame that on the council person. It probably came from one of her staff. But, and I'm not justifying, I'm not saying that's a good response, okay? But, and I can't tell you how much we're in constant contact with her and her staff, and we'll continue. Sorry. And we'll continue. But you're absolutely right, that's not the correct response, but the first thing I need you to do, call the police.
Oh,
And then.
Sir, did you just hear yourself? Because I started this saying.
No, you said you called the police.
We've called the police many
Yes.
times.
Yes.
And the response I got from the council person was, oh, you need to call the police.
No, I understand, that that response is not
Right,
correct.
but you just told me to call police, which I'm telling you we've done.
No, no.
I know, tough job.
I did hear you say.
Okay,
to call
all right.
police. I'm really emphasizing that I want these calls coming in, and you did it, and I'm not point the finger at you. I'm saying, I want these calls come in, and if you want to talk to the council person, do exactly what you did. Even though you got a bad response on it.
That got me so far.
But that's exactly what I want.
Right,
All right.
I get it, and I understand you guys have a tough job, and for some part of the time, it did get a little better. I don't know what changed. that it was-
Weather. This is very secular, and we're gonna see when the weather goes down and it's dark at 5:30, and I'm not saying that's the solution, but that's what happens, because when I looked at the call load, I wasn't here last summer, but I worked here as a street cop, I've been with Denver for 30 years. When I looked at the call load, summer, winter, down, summer,
So we
so
are
it-
addressing it.
Yeah.
If you don't know this, we have a new command staff here. I came over here October 20th. So, you know, I wasn't here prior. But I'm hearing that we have a lot of work to do together. And I'm committed.
That's true.
I have a suggestion, and this goes to the parks people primarily, but I used to walk by the park every day too, you know? And I couldn't help but notice that during the COVID pandemic, there were a lot of physical barriers that were put up at Buckle Park to prevent access to that park at night, prevent access to the playground equipment, et cetera, all under a public health emergency order, I would imagine. And it seems to me like if you have commercial grade speakers that are being driven into the goddamn park on the back of a pickup truck or something like that, why can't gates be installed or some kind of physical obstacle be installed that can be implemented to close up access to the parking lot and to the service roads that goes all the way around the perimeter of the park, to make it very inconvenient to roll the party equipment in.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah. That's cheap.
Absolutely.
A little bit on the gate thing and some of the physical barriers, so what parks can do is just inside of the parks, right? So we would have to work with Dottie on anything outside of the park. The gate and barrier sounds like a good idea, it is being talked about, so I do not want to dismiss it completely. It's expensive, it comes with multiple other issues. What does the gate look like? What color is the gate? What are
Get an old junkie and park it there.
But then that's gonna be complained about,
Yeah,
right? And then
people will
on
complain
top
about
of that, what is the damage, if people wanna get into the park, they're gonna get into the park. They're gonna drive around the gate, they're gonna damage the grass, they're gonna damage the sidewalk, then all of that kind of snowballs, right? And so, I hear you guys, and it is seriously being talked about at this point in time, because of the complaints and because of the call loads that we have received, that is helping, talking about pushing for the gates and the physical barriers. So I'm not ruling it out, and I do want you guys to hear that it is being talked about, very high up within Parks and Rec. And so the calls help with that, the complaints, the suggestions, putting in a gate, emailing me, emailing Parks and Rec, your council people, that does help with those conversations, but it's such a larger project and a snowball effect for sure.
Commander, I'm willing to sign a complaint to get this into court so that the judge would tell them, you know, if you keep doing this, we're gonna confiscate your equipment, whatever have you. I'm willing to sign a complaint to be part of the partnership to solve this. Now, as far as the gate's concerned, in City Park, they closed the gate when they were having problems up there in Denver, City Park. So it can be done, and it was very effective. So just to let you know, that's probably an option, to really think about it.
Plus, it only has to be 3 nights a week.
But, I'm there for you, whatever you need.
I appreciate it. You know what? And look, I'm not afraid of these hard conversations, and I'm happy that we have this many people who are concerned. I think together we're gonna solve this. Give us some time. No park is ever gonna be quiet, right? But what your experience is not tolerable.
Buckle Park has been quiet. Take it from me, I grew up there, okay? So Buckle Park has been quiet for most of my life, and I'm 66 years old.
Right, and I appreciate that. Go ahead, sir.
Commander Bill, if the park should be closed at 11, there's a curfew, and supposedly alongside with the music, there's boozing and all that kind of stuff. What if we do a campaign to bring the booze buses in there, bring the SWAT team, collar everybody takes a breath test. I'm not allowed to be drunk in the park,
It's not possible.
No.
Why? It's-
Just forcing someone to give a breath test when they're not driving.
Or bringing in the SWAT team.
Or bringing
I
in-
understand your frustration, but the resource of what our SWAT team, which is made up of 28 guys, that's it. 28 guys that do, I just spent 4 years in special ops. 28 guys that do every warrant in the city and county of Denver, back up every real high dangerous arrest in Denver. If those guys work 7 days a week, I'm just gonna be honest with you, that is not possible. We also are not, there's some policies that we can't box cars in. We can't do some of the things that has been suggested in my conversations with people in the neighborhood, that they wanna come in and surround them. We're not even allowed to do that with, street racing. So we have to be creative. I'm not saying we don't work towards it, we do, but we cannot do that kind of aggressive thing. We just cannot.
Yeah, and just another thing too, they can't enforce stuff that's not a law. So you said I can't be drunk in a park. There's actually no public intoxication law in Colorado. So people can be drunk in public. You just can't drink in public.
But do they drive away from?
No, and to your point, if someone is suspected driving away drunk, the officer can't have them exit the car and just have them do a breath test. There has to be other signs, mannerisms and field sobriety tests that leads for probable cause to get a breath test or a blood test. But sir, thank you for interjecting that, I appreciate it. Jim?
Yeah. How do we right now, if we want to leave here and have something really constructive, what can we do in terms of your understaffed, lack of money for staffing perhaps? Can we plead our case with the mayor? He's getting ready to, propose increasing taxes for homeless shelters. If that occurs, is any of that going to the police staffing, park staffing?
So our staffing issue is not a money issue. We are struggling to get officers to come onto this job. When you came on, how many people were on the job?
We were short back then in the 90s. And it's always been at that level, the city grows, but the officers don't.
And when I came on, 91, it sounds like I'm really old, but I'm not. One test, one day of the year was Harrington Hall, 3,500 people showed up for 50 jobs. We don't have that anymore, all right? We are struggling to get staffing. Recruiting is all of our jobs, If you know a person that would be a great cop, encourage them. The staff here, we're always having conversations with people trying to increase staffing. It's not a money issue. It's not like the mayor is not letting funds go for new recruits. The funds are there. We're just trying to get the recruits to join. Sir, way in the back of the red hat.
I've seen billboards where Wyoming and Montana are advertising for recruiting police to, hey, come to Montana and be a cop, come to Wyoming and be a cop. Are we putting up billboards in those states, encouraging them people to come down here and be a cop?
It's going all over the country. It's not just them here. It's all over the country because it's similar problems all over the country with law enforcement for a ton of reasons.
Everybody's stealing from everybody, and I don't want to make a joke or humor out of this, but my son was at a swim competition, state swim competition. It was in Douglas County. There were officers there because, believe it or not, parents of kids lose their mind when their kid doesn't win in sports. So they have to have officers there. But I took the time to go try to recruit those officers to come to Denver. So we're doing it with each other. But yes, we're advertising, we're searching. Sir, in the group.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a lot of limitations. You're doing the best you can. We appreciate it very, very much. But you're short-staffed. There's a lot of long-term solutions or non-solutions. A lot of talk. Meanwhile, sound, disruptions that's not the issue here. That's just a byproduct. You have a lot of misinformation about the Venezuela's gang. Did they take over 3 things in, 3 projects in Aurora? Did they not? Who cares? They are in fact here. Denver's become a garden spot for an easy pickings for these guys. You've got a storm brewing here. You've got rapists, you've got murderers, you've got drug dealers. They aren't coming, they're here. And there's nothing you can really do about it. And valid point, I hear you, we are hearing you. But you've got a monster storm brewing here, and it's coming. It is really coming.
Sir, I would love for you to come to my roll call with me, because you're saying exactly what we say to our officers, that we address criminal activity. I don't care where it came from. I don't care if it came from Venezuela, it came from Aurora, Colorado, Lakewood. I don't care. Criminal activity is going to be addressed by my staff. But there are some of the newcomers, very small amount of newcomers, that have criminal activity. The majority of newcomers are here trying to make their lives better. Whether they got here legally or not, I'm not even going to get into that issue. But we have a small amount of people committing these violent acts. And I'm concerned, and I've had conversations with my officers about addressing criminal acts.
So,
Is there gang activity in the park, in Bible Park?
That we have no indication that gang activities are there, all right? I have young people think, in my Lowry neighborhood, think it's okay because there's a park over there in the Lowry neighborhood, and they think that's the perfect place to go and shoot their guns. And they're not gang members, they're just, watch my language here, all right? But they're just shooting their guns into a park, all right? If I had gang activity in the park, you would be the first to know. I would tell you, hey, it's unsafe, I'm concerned.
What's all the graffiti everywhere? Isn't that like a gang?
Not necessarily.
No,
a lot of it's tagging. And
That's a lot, the majority of all gang, or all graffiti.
Is there graffiti in Bible Park?
There is.
Where?
Yes,
Are you reporting it to, because we have a very, go ahead.
Our maintenance crews clean
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
They go out there and clean graffiti every day.
The bridge on Bates.
If it's there longer than a day or two, call me, call myself, tell me.
We've seen it on the bridge, by Yale.
Right now?
I don't know how recently.
Okay, I'll send them out there tomorrow.
There's a picnic table right there on the far west side of the park. We just painted it over for the big festival. It's all scrawled over again,
Okay.
so.
This is the stuff that, if you report to 311 and our maintenance crews within parks only, not anywhere outside of parks, but within parks, our maintenance crews do work with graffiti.
And I'll tell you, and Julie was just about to talk about it, we have a very robust graffiti group, and they share information. So if there was ever graffiti in the park that was gang related, I would know about it, my staff would know about it. We have not seen any gang related.
I just have, this is off the topic of graffiti. I walk the park every morning, but kind of late morning after everybody else is done walking. And a lot of the time, I don't see anybody around me that I can even shout to if something happened. And I frankly feel very, I don't feel comfortable, and I've lived there 46 years. As far as personal protection devices, pepper spraying, bear spray, would I be in trouble if I zapped someone that was, and there's a new thing now called a burner, which is looks like a gun, but it's not a gun, and you don't have to have a permit for it. But it emits tear gas or pepper balls or both, and supposedly will render someone useless for about an hour, or half an hour. Are those allowed to be carried and used?
I would use caution in carrying something that looks like a gun that is not. Pepper spray, absolutely. Are you in trouble in defense of yourself? No. If you're being attacked or threatened or robbed no, that's not a problem. But be cautious carrying something that looks like a gun that is
No,
not.
I've thought about that.
Yes.
Yeah, because they might.
I've never even heard of what you're talking about. I'm serious.
It's BYRNA.
I hear it advertised on
And
the radio.
they say all the police are using it.
Can I just touch back, because
I know this is gonna end eventually, but what this gentleman was saying, talking about, you know, the politics of what's going on, and, you know, this is a complicated issue, right? Because a lot of what you guys are saying is like, we've also been residents of Denver for 30 and 40 years and stuff like that, and the growth and the density is, I moved out here in 1991 and I became a police cadet, and the density of the city is completely different. My husband and I moved into this, you know, well, I wasn't married then, but anyways, but back to what you're saying, despite the complications, despite the challenges of priority calls, because that's what we're also up against. Noise complaint versus a shooting versus an injury car accident, which this district has a ton, so many car accidents. We're dealing with priority calls, right? P1 to P8. So that's also a complication. However, despite all of that, we don't stop trying to address what needs to be done. And so we have to work a little more creatively with staffing because we don't have a SORT unit that has 80 guys in it anymore, or we don't, you know, so what our division chief recently has done is tasked us and given us the ability to team up our ACT teams, our anti-crime teams, and run targeted ops to address violent crime. So I ran one a couple weeks ago in Sector 2, 40 guys. I haven't had a team of 40 guys to do Class 2 actions in a really long time. We did not leave basically a 3-block area for 6.5 hours doing proactive police work. And part of that work is finding out who do we have out there, gang members, identifying them, and we actually came in contact with basically 3 different gang members, old school Denver gangs, one potential TDA, but we couldn't really verify him. And we did that work. So I just tell you that because I don't want you to think that we're just like, we don't have the resources. We are creative. Our division chief allows us to do this. I have District 1, District 3, and District 4. And after the first couple of ops, he has told the other districts that they can also borrow those teams so we have safety in numbers and we can do some of that proactive work. So just know, despite the challenges, it's not like, and your challenge is the same. We're here and we're gonna address it and we're gonna continue to work towards it. And we're not gonna use the excuses of, you know, staffing or calls for service. But you have to understand the whole problem, and that is on a Sunday night, if we have 10 guys on duty on Lieutenant Sandoval's team and we have a shooting and you have a noise call, you can do the math. We're still addressing. Okay?
And with your permission, I want to continue what we've already told our officers. If you're busy going call to call and you're going by that park and you see people congregated in there, light them up with your lights. I know that's not the answer we want right now, but if they're tied up, it addresses it and gets it moving until we can address it the correct way. But when I say your permission, I need your support on this because from your optics, you see an officer come in and light him up and no one gets a citation, and you don't understand why did they do that? Why didn't they give a citation? That is why they're doing it. When they go in, they have to do it safe and they have to have the ability to do a citation. If they can't do it, I don't want them ignoring the problem. You hit them with the spotlight, you hit them with the overheads. So we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to do our proactive patrol. Julie was being a little bit shy on her. Her op was such a success. They have told the other districts, model it like Lieutenant Wheaton. And so you have the staff here to address this. I just need your help and your understanding, and we'll get this moving forward in the right direction.
I have one idea, and I don't know if it's appropriate for what is going on at Bible Park, but maybe release the staffing issues and free up officers for some of this more pedestrian stuff, which is how some of this might be viewed by you guys. But, you know, we have reserve people, we have guard people that are on the payroll here in the state of Colorado. And it seems to me like if we have a, you know, statewide staffing issue with our law enforcement, maybe maybe you guys could suggest to the governor to make some of those resources available to address some of the more serious things. I mean, just have a vehicle parked at or near the entrance of the park after 11 o'clock at night, you know, I think would be a huge deterrent. And, all they have to do is sit in a car, you know, because there hasn't been violence apparently. I mean, yeah, there's guns going on, but it's like bullshit, just like, you know, cowboy stuff that's going on in there. But if you've got a vehicle that obviously has, you know, people in it, I would think that these individuals are gonna go someplace where they are gonna be left alone to do their craft.
Right.
You know, and if they see a manned vehicle at the entrance of the park after closing hours, they're gonna quickly decide, I do believe that Fox Park isn't there. And that's what we need.
Yeah, understood. Using National Guard or reserves, that's not something I can even do. And-
No, but you can suggest it to help
But,
the scouting.
but, so I used to work on a federal task force. They are very limited on what they can do. They cannot have contact with the community. And they do more of the research and, the data analysis. Staffing them in a car is not the proper, way to use that resource. Sir in the blue, I keep ignoring you.
Oh, you're good. Eric Clark from Goldsmith neighborhood. First of all, I want to thank our DPD folks and park rangers for coming out and spending their evening doing this. I know it's a long evening for you all. You all want to get back to your families as well. Two things. One thing that you guys are not allowed to say, but I can say it as a citizen. There is a ballot measure on the November ballot to allow dreamers to apply and become police officers. That's on our ballot. We're talking about resourcing issues and recruitment. It's a drop in the bucket for what's needed in Denver, but it does make a difference. So I encourage folks to look at that ballot measure. Secondly, I've heard resources mentioned multiple times. We're talking about blue light cameras. We're talking about a physical barrier or gates. We're talking about a $15,000 light up sign. I understand these resources are being used in other parts of the city, resource constraints, limited city budget. This is the public sector after all. The way we change that and get those resources for our districts, we talk to our city council member, we talk to our 2 at-large city council members and the mayor's office. Your voice on those issues makes a big difference. So when we're talking about resources, let's make sure resources are made where they're needed, especially on public safety issues. So once again, thank you all for being out here.
No, thank you for saying that, and, I didn't plan him there to say it. I appreciate he says it. So, I know it's late. I hear you loud and clear. I hope you hear me loud and clear that we are gonna be addressing this. We're using our resources appropriately. We're thinking outside the box on this issue. I have a personal connection to this park. I have a personal connection to this whole district. This is where I started my career. And I remember there were disturbances in Bible Park when I started here, but not like this, not like this. And it seems, since I've been your commander, that this summer, and I wasn't here last summer, but I noticed that it getting worse and worse. And I need you to continue to make the phone calls, okay? And I know you're doing it now. So, but continue to do that. Gives me an indication of what's going on. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Eric.
Now they're all gonna stay and have another meeting up front.
Oh, there's another meeting?
Yeah, that's what
Oh, yeah.
stay up there.
I want to go talk to that lady. I wonder if these park rangers, would they help with different districts or just this one?
It's a pretty
Right.
I'm glad you came, thank you.
And I
So I just wanted to personally thank you. You guys guys do, like, a lot of invisible work in the neighborhood and stuff that people enjoy the benefits of, and don't get to see directly through the Tuesday.
Well, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you saying that. Yeah. I know this is a tough issue. Like Commander said, I think it's collaboration and just figuring out what works, right? And it changes. So I get it.
And like I mentioned before, it's not just the park issues that you're seeing.
Yeah.
It's also all the stuff that goes on inside the park. Sometimes it's related to park activity and sometimes not. It's just that the park attracts people.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming out.
No worries.
Do red test when there's no right. But and I appreciate that. I appreciate you interjecting.
It's engaged the community, collaborating with the audience.
Your big lead pipe, big middle.
So it's just. This time you take some kids
For my officers, we like to have confidence and talk to you about what's going on in the district and allegations. I'm also fully aware of the stuff you have done on social media. And I don't think it would be productive for me to sit
What have I done?
really trying to do.
calling me Sergeant Bell. Regan, look, I will always
I'm trying to figure out
Because you feel like something didn't go right on
who I need to talk to. What is that?
Answer me. I never said that. I said the media and then to speak freely without Regan, that's my position. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to change. So, you know what it's going to be. And why are you already?
There's stuff that happens where there's a crime.
I don't have to. And yes, anytime there's I'm notified and the officer is notified and it says what the spec is. Doesn't, I don't remember off the top of my head.
So you don't know what the allegations are?
Yes, I have what the
You have what I sent you?
nothing.
Their summary?
No, just what the complaint is. That's it, just a complaint. Let's say it was, yelling profanity, then it would be a conduct unbecoming, something to that effect. That's all
So
it
it's an allegation of the offense
Right.
being investigated by
What the spec is, yes.
It's an internal.
Regan, it's nice when you.
We're not gonna go to mediation then.
Okay.
You know how that's gonna go for them. It would have gone much better if you would have gone to mediation.
I'm just curious. Sure. I'm just curious. I'd like you to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not right.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're correct, yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yep.
We're taking Joyce home.
Do you said that I can call you about graffiti and stuff?
Yes, you want my card?
Yes.
I was gonna go put my last one on the table.
Cool. And but what if it's not in District 3? Can I still call you?
You can, yeah. So all of our parks districts are split up throughout the city, and our parks maintenance crews maintain the graffiti. So that I work in our East District, quote unquote. We don't mimic police districts, but I'm happy to pass it along to other maintenance operations.
Okay. And so you said only parks though. So So what if there's like graffiti that's not in a park but in the city of Denver? Who would take care of
So that would be a DPD non-emergency. So they have the graffiti unit. So our parks operations only operate within park maintained areas in the city of Denver. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
6 or 7 minutes.
Thank you very much.
No, because the 911.
Well. Hello. Did you get your questions answered?
Yeah.
Were you asking the park rangers?
Yeah, I was asking about the graffiti.
Or were you trying to get their phone number?
No, they're not that cute.
Who's at the front desk? Have you dealt with this one before?
Let's see. No, I don't think so. What's up, man? Oh, pretty good. How you doing?
You got any stickers back there? Yeah, any stickers? What is that? Are you giving those out? Those little Colorado things? Yeah.
No, they're for an officer.
No. But do you have any stickers?
What kind of stickers are you looking for?
Do you have any automobile task force stickers? The no soliciting stickers? Do they say DPD on them?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I want one, please.
Yeah, they got stickers right there too. Can we get a couple of those?
Oh yeah, right on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we get a couple of those, the Denver police ones? Thank you.
Are these new? Or have you had these for a while?
They're pretty new, I think.
There you go.
Stickers. Right on. These are cool. We got stickers. Thank you.
These stickers right here is the ones that the cops are supposed to carry for the kids, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Generally.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, 'cause remember we were trying to get stickers and the cop didn't have any for kids.
It's because they don't care about the children.
How long you been over here at the front desk here at District 3?
Like today?
Well, no, like in total.
We switch off every shift.
Oh, so you're not here very often?
Yeah, today was just my day to clerk.
Okay, how often do you come here for a clerk?
It's just pretty random, to be honest with you.
Like monthly or?
Just depends on the staffing levels.
And it's usually just for one day or is it like a whole week?
Yeah, it's just for a day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know like sometimes they send guys here if they got like, what's his name, got a torn meniscus or something like that, and so they come in here.
Yeah, so they'll have officers that are injured too.
Right.
And they can desk here.
Right. Okay.
Until they're injured.
Yeah. Did you know about this sign right here that used to be here? It was there up until last week. The no recording sign.
Oh yeah.
This one.
So I guess Chief Ron Thomas, he actually changed that policy in February, and then I actually came in here last week just to kind of check it out, and I saw that the sign was still there. Did you know anything about that sign being up there?
No.
Okay.
I actually am pretty new to swing shift, so I don't normally clerk.
Which badge number?
My badge number?
Yeah.
2305.
Yeah.
So 23 is the year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is Palmatier here during the day? Did you replace him?
I did not replace it today. Like I said, it's periodic, so.
Yeah, he was answering the phone the other day, though. I was curious why he would be answering the phone. Is he hurt?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest with you.
Is O'Neill your supervisor?
Nope.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I can tell that he's not your supervisor by just the way you're, talking to me and stuff like that, like your demeanor.
Yeah,
So,
O'Neill's
like,
not.
I actually had this conversation with a couple of O'Neill's guys, and it's not like this, like we can just talk normal. They're like trying to be tough guy with me and don't want to talk to me and stuff like that. So,
I got you.
yeah, no, I appreciate your cordialness and talking to me, man.
Right on,
So,
dude.
all right. Oh, look, who's that? Is that O'Neill? Look, there's O'Neill back there.
I think O'Neill's home for
Is he
today.
back there?
He works day shift now.
Oh, okay. It looked like that was. Oh no, it's not him because he grew his hair out, man. Did you see that? He grew his hair out.
O'Neill, I haven't seen
Yeah,
him in a while.
dude, I didn't
He's
even
got a
recognize him,
comb
man.
over.
He lost a bunch of weight and he's got like long hair now, like parted to the side. I was like, whoa.
Good for him.
Yeah, man, good for him. He's growing his hair out.
You guys have a good night.
You too.
He's growing his hair out.
Guys, I mean, dude, I don't know if he's like trying to disguise himself. You know what I mean? Like,
He is.
he doesn't want us to recognize
he's all
him.
over social media. That picture's all
Oh
over
yeah,
social
yeah.
media.
No, he's famous. That's why
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, I gotta drop 30 pounds.
So
and I gotta-
Bill's mad at me. He doesn't want to go to mediation with these two officers that I have this complaint on. Because he doesn't like my speech. So
Yeah, why-
his excuse for not going to mediation is that his officers need to be able to talk freely. So his officers took it upon themselves to transfer an arrestee into a cul-de-sac so they could get him away from my camera because they felt unsafe. So I just want you to think about what it would be like if you got arrested and somebody was filming that arrest, legally filming that arrest. I would feel great about that. I would be out of my mind if I was driven to a cul-de-sac by a cop after I'd been arrested. And I'm sure that ultimately the Denver Police Department is going to clear these officers and say that because they didn't have a policy that said they couldn't do that, it's okay that they did that. And so I was going to give these officers the benefit of the doubt. I haven't publicized this video. They were total dicks to me. I was trying to find Phil. I was asking them for their help. It happened on South Broadway, and I actually thought long and hard about even filing the complaint because these complaints don't matter, but I'm the one that always pushes. You need to file complaints, even if they don't investigate, and even if they come back after they murdered your grandma and said that they did everything right, you still gotta file these complaints. So I filed a complaint back in July, and I don't get contacted about the complaint until last week by a sergeant who just happened to be going on vacation the day after she contacted me. So now she's gone till the end of September. But I ultimately had a pretty good conversation with her, so I agreed to go to mediation if Commander Bell was in the mediation. Because this is his district, he should sit in that mediation. Because last time I agreed to mediation with 3 of my homeless friends, who ultimately they agreed to the mediation, I wouldn't have done it because it was with an asshole officer that ultimately brought Ron Thomas to the mediation. Ron Thomas was chief of patrol at the time, brought him to the mediation, and Ron Thomas sat in this mediation and allowed his officers to berate these homeless folks. So you heard Bell say that he wants his officers to be able to speak freely in mediation. Well, there you go. So we're not going to mediation because once you agree to mediation, it absolves them of any disciplinary action. So I gave the Denver Police Department the benefit of the doubt before publishing this video. We're going to publish this video and we're going to show these officers' actions. We're going to expose them and what they did because I was recording them. I was giving them the opportunity to resolve it in a mediation where I have to agree. I have to sign a piece of paper that says I will not discuss the mediation. They were off scot-free to do this mediation, and you see the arrogance on display. This commander won't even go to mediation. So there you go. Now you know why I have a problem with the way District 3 is being ran. And it's ran into the ground, and it's going to continue to be ran into the ground. So that's why we're here tonight.
Yep, yeah, and so we're gonna be doing that video.
Yep.
And yeah, you're right, you gave them the benefit of the doubt and gave them every chance to do it and be done with it, but they don't want to, so.
No, so it's gonna, people have a right to know what's going on.
Yeah.
They have a right to know.
I mean, can you guys imagine getting arrested and then instead of the cops taking you to the jail, they just drove you around a neighborhood and they took you to a cul-de-sac to hang out for a while? I mean, you're sitting in the handcuffed in the back of a car.
Yeah.
There's more to it though.
Yep.
You want to tell them where else they were driving around? You
Well, they
driving
followed
around?
me. They had 4 cops out on this call, and 2 of the cops took it upon themselves to follow me into Inglewood as well. So it was definitely a retaliatory situation going on because they were being recorded. And this is the exact same thing that I just sued Denver for this retaliation for protected First Amendment activity. And right in the middle of settling that lawsuit, you've got these cops doing this out on the street because guess who they're learning from? Commander ONEILL. And that's for you, Sergeant Bell. So yeah, there's a lot to that story. Did I miss something? Is that where you were going with that?
Well, they drove in a very specific area, right? Didn't they drive around your
Oh,
house?
yeah. They happened to drive the arrestee right by my house.
Yeah. Can you imagine
Totally
that?
coincidental, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How crazy is that, man?
Yep.
But hey, man, we're gonna go retaliate against this lady that was recording us real quick while you're back in the back of our cruiser, man. Just hold tight. Just drive by her house real quick a couple times, like stalker boyfriend type of situation.
Yep.
Like, dude, that is so crazy, man. I would be like, dude, when you get arrested, you want to just get to the freaking jail. You don't want to be hanging out in the back of that car, man. That's crazy.
And the stupid thing was, they literally didn't think I was gonna find them. Like I was too stupid to know what direction they were going when they should have been going the other direction. Yeah, of course I'm gonna go over there and find you. And then they had the audacity to say that they had to get away from me because they felt unsafe and harassed. This is what is being fostered in the leadership in the Denver Police Department. Exactly. Who knows what they were doing to that guy? That's the other question I have. They were also telling him how mean I was on body cam. Yeah, it's gonna be a consistent amount of retaliation against me here in Denver, and I continue to try to give them the benefit of the doubt. And he just can't put his ego aside. Can't do it. So I guess we're just gonna, they declared war, so we're just gonna stay at war. And wants to know if I want to go have coffee with him.
Can you imagine that?
What the? No.
Well, be like, yeah, if I can record it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even do that. He can't even agree to go to a mediation. That's what the fuck you want to do? Sit down and have coffee with me and try to convince me that that you're somebody special? That you're not running this place to the ground? I mean, get lost, dude. You didn't even know your lieutenant had run a special operation. She had to bring it up tonight. You don't even know what the fuck's going on here. So, no, we're not gonna go have coffee, Sergeant Bell.
Well, if somebody wants to go have coffee, like he's trying to bridge the gap, but really bridging the gap would be to just show up to mediation.
Yeah.
He doesn't even want his own officer.
In a controlled environment where I have to sign an agreement that says I won't talk about the mediation. And he's throwing a fit because I did something to him on social media. Mm-hmm. Well, he didn't talk about the day I stood over there and flipped him off and told him that he was fucking ruining District 3. I wonder why I didn't bring that up. I mean, I didn't have a problem communicating. You want to communicate in a professional setting, or you want to communicate out on the street when you're trying to destroy people's lives? I gave you a lot of choices, Belle, so you made the wrong one. But they are. I mean, they're going to get away with it, so it's just how this place is going to run. And these poor people with their parks. Just close the damn park.
Yeah, he was all upset about you saying close the park, remember?
Because his kids play sports in that
okay.
park.
Well, then he needs to be working a little bit harder at it then, man.
But if you're homeless, if and I'm not kidding, they close the parks all over Denver.
Yeah.
They set up fencing around the parks that tell you cannot even stand in that area. So if they can't get their parks under control, close it. I'm sorry, it's a pretty simple fix. I think those people started to catch on to that because then they wanted the entrances closed. Mm-hmm. They want those barriers put in so people can't drive into the park. I don't know. It's just like the things that consume people's lives. Noise in the park. Look, if I had called the cops over and over and over because I couldn't sleep and they did nothing about it, I sure as hell wouldn't be here at a meeting. These people haven't called over and over and over. This woman claiming that she was on hold for 15 minutes with 911. Yeah, Denver's had some issues, with being on hold with 911, but you've never been on hold for 15 minutes and hung up with 911. Sorry. Not true.
Yeah,
Here,
well,
we
some
got
of
some- they're all headed out to the streets now.
So let's see if they want to talk. Oh no, they're out of here. Yeah.
They had their window down for you.
Yeah.
They had rolled their window down when they came
Oh
out.
really?
Yeah. They wanted to
They're-
hear what you had to say.
They wanted me to come say hi to them, man.
Yeah. They want to be like Danos and his buddy
Danos
over
and
here.
what was that other guy's name? I think it was Matthews or something like that.
That was a great video.
He was the worst one. But we both agree that Danos is inherently just like a terrible guy, right? He seemed cool.
Yeah.
You could get run over by a car.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, I want to see if that guy's still here, man. That detective dude with the blue line Punisher sticker on his
Yeah,
back of his truck.
right.
He had to put this business card on his truck
On
because
the
I hadn't been
tailgate.
patted down for weapons and shit. Like, dude, come on, man. You know, it wasn't that he was actually scared that I had weapons. It's just that he had that much hatred in his heart for me.
Oh
dude.
yeah, he was gonna.
I mean, he's one of those guys that if he didn't have body cams, it was back in like the 90s, he would take me and arrest me and take me to some alley or some shit, beat the living shit out of me,
Yep.
Rodney King me, and then he'd take me in and say, make some shit up.
Yep.
That's that cop right there.
And that's ONEILL too.
That's ONEILL too.
To a T.
Yes.
And
That's
so
ONEILL.
District 3 has changed drastically and not for the better. It used to be a pretty good, it was really the esteemed district of the Denver Police Department. It's not anymore.
Well, this
And
is
that's
like
too bad.
the Beverly Hills of Denver right here, right?
Yeah, District 3, absolutely. Abso-friggin-lutely.
So yeah, we're going to, I already told everyone in there about the sign getting ripped down by ONEILL.
Yeah.
While you were in the bathroom.
Right on.
So let's
That's
see if
gonna be a great video.
let's see if Red Pilled is still in here. Oh, here I think he's in here still. Because he's the one that wanted to see it anyway. So I asked that lady how you say "fuck the police" in sign language.
Oh my God, you did not.
Yeah, so it's "fuck the police."
She showed you?
She showed. Well, I didn't tell me "fuck the police." First, I asked, "Do you use the word 'the' in sign language?" Because it's kind of like a useless word. A lot of languages don't. She was explaining, no, they don't use that. And then I said, "Well, do you have cuss words or do you have to spell it out? Because I know the alphabet." She's like, "No, there's a lot of them." I said, "Well, what's the F word?" And she said, "Well, it's it's the universal one everyone knows, so it's the finger." And then I said, "Okay, well, can you tell me what? Thank you." And I was like, "Can you tell me police?" She's like, "Oh yeah, police." Okay. So I didn't just say, "Hey, tell me how do you say fuck the police?" So it's "fuck the police." So now we know.
It's a C?
It's a C.
It's a C?
It's a C with these two fingers.
Interesting.
So I don't know why it's a C, but that's police, guys.
All right, now we know.
For Red Pilled, because he wanted to know. So
Now we know.
now we know. If you don't know, now you know.
I know this.
Oh, you know that one good. I mean, that's the region.
This feels like gang symbol.
Yeah, they probably try to get you for being gang affiliated. They wouldn't know.
She probably just told us this is how you start a war with the police.
There's some more
Gang
cops.
signs, yep.
Oh, look, he's cruising in there, man. So what do you want to do? You want to sign off or
Yeah,
what?
we should sign off.
Okay.
What do you think, guys? Any more questions this evening? I know that was a boring meeting, but it was important that we're back in here because we have a right to record these public meetings. I have a right to know what's going on in this police district. No, I'm not his older sister. Well,
No,
I kind of am. I'm older.
Well, no, you're my mom, according to that security guard.
That was funny. That was funny. That youngster security guard. You're doing a terrible job parenting.
Yeah, you know, he said, where did you learn how to parent? And he said, oh, are you my son? He said, no, but this clearly is. It's like, dude, I got dark skin. She's got light skin. Like, how?
You look young. You look young.
Yeah, I know it.
We'll give him that. Yeah, Rain, when they were blocking the doorway. Yeah, I know. I thought that was kind of interesting.
That's a fire code.
I know. Yeah.
That's something they would have
Who
used.
watches the watchers? Well, you can come watch us anytime. Thanks, Wade, for being in here and hanging out with us. Use better mic and audio enhancements. Yeah, okay. He's got the best mic on there. That was them.
No, the big
that was
sis.
The room.
We're not biological siblings. It's just like it's a nickname.
Yeah, Snarky, no pocket warrants. We did good there tonight, right? I was ready. I got all dressed up. I got ready for a booking photo.
Yep. She did her makeup nice. Whitened her teeth.
Well, at any rate.
You know, that Commander Bell, he seems to like me, doesn't he?
Well, yeah. I mean, he was.
He did. He shook my hand, and then when you left, he said thank you again to me or something. I was like,
did you ask him why he didn't take down the damn no recording signs?
No, I forgot.
This is his damn precinct.
I know.
This is his building.
Is he still here?
Probably.
You want to go ask him real quick?
No.
No?
Not really.
I do. Hold on, let me swap my battery out real quick and let's just see if he's here. That would be a good conversation. He likes me, so he's not going to be all like, on edge and shit.
All right, you can go ask him.
Well,
Let's go ask him. We're going to go ask.
Switch his battery
DMA
out.
is going to go ask Commander Bell why he did not take down the no recording signs. Bokamo, hold your fingers like asking for your ID.
Yeah, that's how it is. It's asking for your ID.
It's
maybe
a
that's
sign
why.
for badge.
Maybe that's why they did it like that. Because they're always asking for ID.
Like this? What's your ID?
No, man, you know how they go like this? Like, hey, you got an ID?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See?
Yeah, oh, thanks. I got it.
Yeah.
I get it?
That's
put
why
that
they
finger
did it.
down. Wait. I can't do it.
But it's only the two fingers. Keep those other ones closed. Yeah, like that.
I have to practice. I'm going to go home and practice in the mirror. Put the finger down.
That's what you got to start doing now. From now on, though, instead of just the flipping off, you got to add that in.
I'm going to have to practice. All my fingers keep wanting to stay up.
I know. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
I do need to use the restroom.
Yes, there we go. We'll get 2 birds stoned.
Did you get your super chat, Chris? No, this is in mine. This is my chat. If you left me a super chat, thank you very much. Snarky. Repetitive motion trauma. That's good. I like that. Uh-oh, somebody's got a flat tire.
Oh, that's a bust. Does she need someone to change it for her, or what? You need help with the tire?
I kind of do, but I don't have a jack, so I
Oh, you don't have a jack?
AAA. Yeah.
Oh, you got AAA coming though? Okay, you got AAA. All right. So I would help you. I got a jack, but you already got AAA coming.
Yeah, I just joined them so that I can, because I have no way to fix it.
Right.
Without
Oh,
a
you got
jack.
it. You got it. Do you know how to change a tire at least? Okay. Good. You got to get a jack.
I don't.
But hey, if you got AAA, then that's what you pay them for, anyways, though, right?
Right,
So
but
that's
I need to get a jack. I just
Yeah.
didn't realize that I didn't have a
didn't
jack.
realize you hadn't have one. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Sometimes they hide them real good, you know.
No,
in there.
there's, the place in there is empty.
Oh, it's empty.
Even
Okay.
underneath. Where you got the tire out from?
That's what I'm talking about. There's
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
slot for it in the
Yeah.
plastic molding, where it would fit, and it's up there. There's a fancy screwdriver and the tire iron, and
some other things, and the battery for the car, but no jack.
Yikes.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you for asking.
Uh-huh.
Everybody just walked on by you, huh? We would help you. We'll be back out.
These people are were you at the meeting? No. Oh. Well, they're supposed to be here loving the police and good people, right? And then they don't ask for if you need help.
I think this is AAA. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Uh-huh. All right, let's go see if we can talk to Commander Bell real quick. I wonder if they locked the doors, though. And then the whole, oh, the park should be closed. If it's winter time, you don't need it to be open. It's like, how can we, let's try to mitigate the problem without adding in more restrictions. You know what I mean? That's what I think. I mean, I don't even think I don't think there should even be a curfew at a park. I think they locked it. I knew it. Oh, you open it for us?
Or maybe just double down
No.
on the lock.
I think it just like officially.
He just, that one we were talking to.
Oh, he just added an extra lock?
Yeah,
Hit the mag
probably.
lock or something? Dang. I wanted to ask, totally just missed my chance to ask Commander Bell about that.
Well, you'll have to come back. You can go have coffee with him. Why don't you go have coffee with him?
I'll go have coffee with him.
You do that.
If he'll let me record it, I will.
Yeah, do that.
I don't got his card, though. He won't have coffee with me, though.
Sure he will.
Nah.
He likes to have coffee with people. Well, at least she's in hopefully safe space.
Well, and these Audis, too,
She
are
could be
kind
in
of...
the worst space.
Could be in a
of all
worse space.
places.
I mean, you would think it would be a safe space, but... You know, it's not always how it goes.
I just feel like her jack is somewhere hidden in her trunk.
Well, see, another thing, too, about these Audis is my jack might not even work, because some of these,
Right.
like,
She
what
got
is,
that
it's a,
truck.
what is it? It's a German car, and they have, like, specific kinds of jacks and shit.
Right.
It's like these crazy ones. Like, I know Mercedes has these weird-ass ones. Well, I guess it wouldn't matter. I guess my jack can just find a piece of the frame and still jack it up.
But she did say she called AAA.
Yeah, she said AAA is on the way. Do you think I should just change her tire for her anyways?
No, because I gotta pee.
Okay. Okay, here, I'm gonna hand you your phone.
I can't believe somebody wouldn't come out. Well, yeah,
Well, see, yeah,
It
the
is
auditors go and
disappointing.
ask her for help, but all the bootlickers didn't ask her if she needed help.
Uh-huh.
But we're the bad guys.
Always. Alrighty. There we go. Alright, friends. Well, what do you think? Call it a night? Yeah, I don't know what's up with that Corvette. It was parked here when we got here.
Cool ass car though.
Yeah.
Looks like an 85 or 86.
Yeah. I grew up around these. My dad used to collect. Huh. Those tags are expired. Interesting. There's always some interesting cars parked over here. I think this is all the cops doing this. Yeah, so anyway. Oh, wow. Yes, I see that super chat now. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Sorry about missing that. I appreciate that. All right, you guys. Well, thanks a bunch for popping in here tonight. We're gonna head on out, and it was good. We're probably gonna be doing some more of these meetings in other districts, probably District 4. next. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But haven't been on in a while, been a little bit busy. It was good to see all you in here tonight. Thank you for that super chat again. Have a good night, guys.